Dope Conversations, take one.
3, 2, 1. Action.
Do you have to count down?
Yes, professionalism.
Oh, okay. Thanks, Swaggy. So this is Dope Conversations. Which camera is mine? That one. Hi, guys. It's so far.
But you like so
Very
close,
close.
like the right here.
Oh, okay. Jeez, it feels so far. Hi, guys. Even though you're so far. So I'm going to be experimenting with Dope Conversations just to see what we can do with it. To kind of also explore what the guys here at Amped can kind of deliver for you guys. And yeah, I hope you guys will enjoy it. Looking forward to some of the comments, some of the things we're going to be raising today. And my co-host for today, I might have two, but we'll see in time. But my co-host is the beautiful, lovely, extravagant.
Hey, Penno. So that's say my name so we can move on.
Hi, Ursula.
Hi, Ben. How are you?
I'm good. So I've got Ursula Mariani. I've got the rest of the team in the back who are here as part of part of talent or whatever. And then as I've said to the guys in the back, if any of them have anything to come and say here, then I'll get up and they'll come chat. Otherwise, you'll probably hear them from the back. I'm a ghost. I'm a ning. And I think the reference I used, I'm going to say this because I know I'm going to be dragged for it anyways. The reference is podcast and chill, just from a setup perspective for today. Shout out to Meg G and Sol. And then we'll play around and see how it goes.
Podcast and chill, do they sit like this?
Well, compared to how I normally sit, facing two people, or facing like two people facing each other, this is more your
Yeah,
side,
okay.
my side, and speaking to audience.
Okay.
How have you been? How was China? Geez, congrats, man. Daily Thetha. How's that been going?
Well, you know, I'm a guest presenter on Daily Thetha.
What's a guest presenter?
So, like, they just ask you to come help out and stuff.
Oh,
So,
we temp.
Skangpaphela, man. The show qeta uqala.
Oh, I'll see. You're on probation.
I'm just
Hey.
helping out.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Someone's on maternity leave.
Well, now you know. Okay.
You are locum.
You were also in China. How did you find China?
No, I wasn't. Chinatown. Sorry. Welcome, Ursula. How's Daily Thetha and how was China?
China was really good. It's interesting, man. Like, I think that's the most different country I've been to. I keep saying this.
Sure.
In that, firstly, you know, there's no English. Like, it's not like there's no English, but hello, how are you? No, there's no
English
at all. So to get by is really difficult. When you whip out a card to pay for something, because you're thinking card ki technology.
Of course.
Like, they're like, ugh, brother, ugh.
What's that?
When last did we see a card? Doesn't it have COVID or something? You know, like, it's crazy. They scan. The homeless people have QR cards, like, hanging around, like, on
The what?
lanyards. The homeless people. Well, I don't even think they're homeless, but people that don't necessarily have jobs have QR.
They have QR codes hanging around their necks
Yeah,
for
if
you
you
to
want
scan
to.
and give them money.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Hectic.
This was in Shanghai. I'm quite sure there's different cities. This was in Shanghai. So it was crazy. Like, oh man, I've never experienced anything like that. Yeah, I've been around, but like, I think I'm realizing how much I've traveled to places that feel very familiar.
Yeah.
And so this is the first time where, you know, when you see another black person, you guys just nod and greet each other because it's like, hey, if this is an episode of Get Out, at least I got you. There's all of a sudden like a newfound solidarity when you see another black person. They ask to take pictures of you. They ask to touch your hair, but you can't hear any of it. Just grannies like shoving. But are we talking? Has the conversation started? One of the things
What?
Yeah. One of the things that I found really cool in China at around 5 p.m., right? So they've got this very, I keep saying China. Let me speak of the cities I was at.
Okay.
Beijing, Shanghai. They've got these like parks, but they really utilize their parks. So you know how we've also got a few gym sets that they've given us
Okay.
at parks and stuff, but these ones are being used, right? And old men are busy playing like, there's this like Chinese type of chess board game thing that they play.
Mahjong.
Yes,
Something like that.
yes. Yeah, that's the one. So they're playing that, and then the old women are doing like this dance thing, and then there's karaoke stands. So
In the parks?
Yes, in the parks. So I don't know who provides the karaoke machine. I don't know who, you know, but the sense of community is huge. The kids are out, but you know, it's such a lovely thing to see. So until sunset, from around 5 till around sunset, 7:30 towards 8, like the parks are full, you know, of like just activity and families. And I was like, this is amazing. Because I think, because the whole communistic country, you think, they, tell them so much and they
Can't move and they're rigid.
yes. And they don't have access to the access to the internet, to certain parts of the internet. You just think they're this trapped group of people. And when you see them, these people are happy, man.
It was your first time in China?
It was my first time in China.
First time in Asia?
First time in yes. First time in
Okay.
Asia. Yeah, Middle East. Yeah, Asia. Yeah.
The references are always dangerous when you travel to a place for the first time. Because if you ever go back to China, to another part, your benchmark is Shanghai and Beijing. And I'm not sure which one is the capital city between the two.
Beijing.
It's like starting off in Santon. And then when you go to the rest of the country, it's flames.
This is true. Because even the people were different. Like, because a statistic my friend gave me, so I won't quote it as if it's Bible truth, but only 6% of Chinese people have a passport.
6%.
6%.
It's a good stat.
Yeah, the other 94% are coming from the rural areas of China.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that get super excited to see black people. However, the people that are like Shanghai people, the city people,
They've seen blacks.
they've seen blacks, and they've seen like a plethora of people. So you know that you're dealing with a really not foreign, but rural person.
Sure.
When they start asking for, pictures and they want to touch you and they want to go home and be like, hey, while I was
They wanna
touring
touch you.
Yeah, they absolutely want to. And the kids will like rub your skin and like check if something came off.
If something came off.
Yeah. They're like having, they like,
Yeah, I had to go visit a kiwi. Yo.
It was very interesting. It was interesting.
But you'll take it because it's China, not if it was like another African country.
What do you mean? Why would they get excited to see me?
Maybe they want to touch you and take pictures.
No, it would be fine.
It will be fine.
Why not? I don't understand why not with an African. What's your thinking, Finn? Just finish the
Let's
sentence.
go to another African country and like the men want to come
The men.
touch your
Men
hair.
weren't touching me in China.
Oh, it was only the women.
Yes.
Oh,
The men will
that's
ask
what
for
made
a
it fine.
picture.
The men would ask for?
For a picture, but they wouldn't touch you. The woman would like try to touch
You'd
you.
agree with pictures on the continent with random men.
What are you saying, Maramu?
I'm asking.
Yes.
But I'm asking though.
Always fighting. If a man was first time seeing,
Hey. Okay.
I hate what you're doing.
I'm
right
not doing
now.
anything.
No, you're absolutely doing something because there's a certain leniency because you understand they've never seen a black person. So this man that wants to take a picture, he's never seen a woman. He's never
South
seen a black
African
person.
woman?
I look like his woman. I look like a Ghanaian. How do you know I'm South African? How do you know I'm not East African?
Oh, so you'd say no.
I wouldn't necessarily say no just for the sake of saying no. I'd say, why over that snap and daddy? What is it you want?
Why were you in China, by the way?
I was visiting a friend. So a friend of mine has been working in China for 6 years. So that was great because she knows a little bit of the language.
You speak very fast, but please carry on.
So I was visiting a friend of mine in China who's been working there.
This is
for
not
6
voiceover work. You
years.
can speak
What
normally.
do you want from me, actually?
Speak normally.
So she's been working in China for 6 years, which was great. She knows a little bit of the language. And so that allowed us to really get back. But at some point I was asking for salt. And I realized how little of the language she knows because it's all foreign to me.
Sure.
And then she's like, so I think they're coming with salt, then they come with garlic.
Sure.
And I have this word. I'm like, what did you ask for? She said, I said, white thing put on food.
Fair enough.
I was like, I don't know what the word for salt is, Ursula.
Sure.
So then I realized how limited, actually, just because it sounds so different to me.
Did you get salt?
We never got salt. In
Because
fact,
I know in
we
those,
got a
in
whole
those
other
parts,
meal.
sometimes they're not big fans of salt and those things.
True. I think you should ask for something like soy sauce or something like that
For
for you to
flavouring.
get some kind of salty taste and stuff.
So,
Have you guys ever seen a pregnant Chinese woman? Yeah, have you?
oh, what a great question. Did you see any pregnant women in China?
I'm
Or
trying to
even
think
in South
really
Africa,
hard.
right?
No.
I'm trying to think
No, I'm saying you're
really
asking
hard.
even in South Africa.
Who's Chinese?
Sure. Because I mean, we've got Chinatown and stuff.
I've never seen.
You're asking that here as well.
Yeah.
Because some people are like, I've never been to China. It's like, no, just any Chinese people that you've seen. Did you see any?
That's a really good question. Like, I'm really trying hard to think, did I not see a pregnant person?
Because it's
a whole culture around when they're pregnant, even like after giving labor, you can go to certain like hotels and things.
Yes.
I think they take pregnancy different there.
I will tell you, let me tell you, while we're talking about pregnant women and the culture around there, they like value their women. So unlike here, ne, insult her.
Where's this going
Ne?
now?
Yeah, no,
Where's this
it's going
conversation
exactly
going?
where it needs to go, ne? Let me tell you.
I just need you to know that in China, men value their women. Hey,
No, but let me explain, there, guys. I'm not throwing shade on South Africa.
you can only value a woman that's submissive. Sorry. Please continue. I'm so sorry. Please. The floor is yours.
So they've got this thing because of this whole one child whatever policy thing. There's there's a weighting of like more men than women there, and so the men really have to prove themselves worthy of this suitor person. And so these trolleys that push around toddlers, they can push women around in that on like a hot day. Yeah, you're pushing around. You go, why is she walking? It's hot. It was amazing. I was like, I'm in the wrong country.
and the women were shouting and
no.
appreciative.
Papela.
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
They were appreciative. Guys, the reality, gents, if you have a woman that's appreciative, this is why old niggas date like varsity girls. When you find a chick who's appreciative, you're willing to bend. Manjo koko. I was all complainer. Put me on the trolley. You're like, hey, sick. Sorry. There's how many people in the room? 2, 4?
4.
4. How many people have not been overseas or out of the country? Or you've all been out, except for one?
I don't know if this counts.
Okay, no, let's just say out of Africa.
No, out of Africa.
Out of Africa.
Here's why I'm saying I don't know if it counts. I was invited on a cruise ship that went to Mozambique, so I was out of the country.
Okay.
They
You
asked
were?
for my passport.
No, you were out of
Do
the country.
you guys all have passports?
And Mozambique
Do you guys
is
all have
like-
passports? Yeah. All have passports? Yeah. But not been out of Africa? That 6% is very accurate because I remember when I was at varsity, it was 6%. The number of human beings in the whole world that have ever been on an aeroplane, even if it's local. And if people don't know, that's like a good measure for privilege. That if you've ever been on an airplane, even if it was a bursary for Richard Dream or whatever, you were in like a really elite. And now people that have been out of a country probably gets much worse.
I appreciate what you're saying because sometimes, we can be so myopic in our thinking in that like, oh, I ain't in business class, but like you're actually still part of
Hey,
like...
because business class, man.
Yeah.
You walk past like a peasant and they look at you, they're all relaxed because then you come there as a peasant walking past into your little fucking business class is garbage.
Yes, I hate it.
I prefer flights where business class is on the
It's
left.
closed off and the curtains
It's on the
are
left
closed.
and then you rest of the monkeys go to the right. But when you have to walk past with your poverty, sometimes you walk past
But
kids
the price
and
of
random
business
people
class
that are
is
sitting
crazy. The price of it's not a joke. It's like last minute, if you want to upgrade last minute, that's when it's cheapest. It's like 50-something
there.
thousand.
There's always levels in life.
No, but guys, that's crazy.
I'm sure the guys who fly private.
57,000. Horobala.
But it's only crazy because we don't have the money for it.
You're so right. It's only crazy because we don't. That's what she said. She said because we don't have the money for it. Yeah,
Maybe a return.
one of the
Depends
legs
on where you're
even.
going.
No,
Depends on where you're going.
one of the legs. So let's say China, you had to do 2 legs, 8 hours, and then you break somewhere and another 8 hours. One of the legs will be 57,000. Dawa.
No, but flights really vary, by the way. But it is expensive.
Yeah, true.
But in life, there's always levels. Because I can tell you, the guys who are in business class, probably there's guys that walk past them on their way to their private jets to go charter. So now, but they probably also feel poor. And that's just life.
What type of travelers are you guys? Like, do you eat a dog when you get there?
Hectic. That's where the question
I didn't
went.
eat a dog.
McDonald's when you...
No, I didn't eat a dog. The McDonald's tastes different anyway.
It's a dog.
Perhaps.
We could be chowing dog in South Africa, by the way.
Yeah. You
Because
never
the
know.
patties there in Twana, after a few hours become cardboard.
You never know. You never really know. But I will tell you, the burger patties called Burger King were like pork, and I didn't expect that. And to be honest, it was a bit disgusting. Yeah, it really was. But the other food was good. Like, if you stick to their food, I think you're better off. But you know what? Spices make, like, your Yeah, because it can be the same thing. They can like fry liver. We've eaten fried liver before, right? But it doesn't taste. Havana Robertsons, kitsabona, So that's I saw Robertsons in a different way. I valued it differently. I was like, oh,
More
man.
tomato sauce, more mayonnaise.
No,
man. Kill
You
this
joking.
fucking taste of this thing.
So yeah, you really had to adjust, and you were picking off a lot of pictures. So when it comes, it wasn't what you were expecting.
I think Ursula's probably an experimental
No.
eater.
Yeah, I am.
I'm not. Even in South Africa. Me too. I'm not an experimental. You're experimental or you're not?
I'm not.
Inyama yanga phakathi? Inside.
Yeah, Mahmoud.
That's not experimental.
Yeah,
He
you see, I
thinks
don't
it's
even do that.
experimental.
Mopani worms.
Oh.
That's too experimental.
Okay,
yes,
no.
yes. Mopani worm slap, guys. You're missing out.
I'm happy to miss out. I'm good.
Really?
This is where you start venturing towards dog and cats. So ngikren.
Nah, guys, you know what, Nate? The type of food people eat determines on the what was available at the time. So we've been
Of poverty.
socialized, yes,
At the time of poverty.
at the time of poverty or at the time of even abundance. But what was abundant, right? So
There
if
can
you look
never
at
be
Botswana,
mopani worms
in
that
Botswana,
are abundant when you have abundance.
Listen,
You can't be eating insides.
Listen,
When there's oxtail and lamb chops.
listen, man. Like
During times of poverty, what was your poverty meal?
if you think about how there's more cows than people in Botswana, and they're like one of the biggest like distributors of beef. So it's a beef nation. Hence, it's normalized to them. But there was this thing on TikTok that went around like what foods are not just edible, but the most eaten foods. Can I take out my phone?
No, please feel free.
So I've got the video because I was like, we were chatting about it with my parents over the weekend.
Is it a video that starts off with like one animal and then goes
Yes, and then it goes on the grid,
onto
right?
like which animals really
And
get
beef is like in the middle somewhere there.
crazy. I
Right?
think I saw the
If I'm
video.
not mistaken, horses more than beef across the world. Yes. Like weird animals are higher than
This is
beef.
how you know people are capping.
No. Chicken was number one. Chicken was number one. Across the world, chicken was number one of the animals that have been eaten.
Useful head to toe.
Yeah, I think it was. I can't remember what
Jeez,
the
those
numbers
are
were.
facts.
I can't remember what.
Disgusting facts. I don't even eat that. Swaggy? Chicken feet.
Yeah, dude.
Head.
That's poverty meal. That's my
So when you're not an experimental what man. You chow anything,
here
man.
it
They'll
is.
give you cat.
Can I go through some of the numbers? So turtle 50,000. Wait, let's go all the way. Dog is sitting at cow is 300 million.
Wait, what does that mean? Is that per annum?
Yeah, per annum,
Is
per
it
year.
tons or number of animals
Number of animals
that are killed for food
for food.
every year? You
Yes.
said dog is at 300 million.
Yes.
Damn.
No, wait, I could be lying there. Wait, no, it was cow at 300 million.
cows are at 300 million.
Lamb is sitting higher at 500. Lobster 500.
Wait, slow it down. Lamb,
Lamb 500 million.
500 million. Hey, those are countries with money, most. Because lamb yabiza la.
Lobster 500 million. Turkey 656 million. Salmon
Those are Americans.
750
Those are Americans
million.
that kill turkeys.
Tuna 900 million.
Makes sense.
Rabbit 1.2 billion. Haven't you guys eaten rabbit? That's some good meat.
My father used to hunt rabbits.
Yeah,
so yeah.
some good meat. Pig 1.5 billion.
That's China. That's China. That
Octopus 2 billion. Oysters 2 billion.
calamari. Octopus is calamari.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't eat
Goose?
seafood as well, by the way. Don't look at me
Arguable.
like that. Keep looking. Me now, in our times of abundance, there's shy lamb.
2.1 billion. Duck 2.9. I want to go skip right to the sardines, obviously. Pilchards.
Tin fish.
Yeah.
Or duck.
14 billion. Also, there's an interesting thing about this thing. Obviously, with tin fish for one meal, you'd kill more. So there's that.
The numbers go up.
Yeah.
That's
So,
fair.
per
That
plate.
could actually also explain the number difference with cows versus
Versus,
rabbit.
yeah.
And there's something else you counted there.
Yes.
Because Inkomo feeds a lot, A1.
Yes.
So you don't
True.
have to kill that many.
Yes.
Sure.
Then number one, chicken at 75 billion.
75 billion.
75 billion.
KFC, Chicken Licken, Nando's, Galitos, Umamo Daisa, Chicken Dust.
Butter chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chicken.
So-
What was number two?
Number two. This is my argument
Hungry
around
Lion.
food.
Every
Number-
fast food
number
joint
two
has got
was
chicken, by the way. McDonald's, Steers. Number two
was
are sardines.
sardines at 14 billion. But the jump from 14 billion to 75 billion is crazy. That's a crazy jump. Chickens, you must respect the chicken. But my point was, right? My point was, like, we like Ranyaza Dijo Sabato, I don't know how to say it in English, Ranyaza Dijo Sabato, but it really is just the climate of what was available to the people of your, you know,
Specifically
generation,
things
your
like
era.
lobster, where you think it's expensive, but there might be coastal people that get it in
Yes,
abundance.
absolutely.
So it's like, well, Tina, we catch this thing here.
Mopani worms. I come from a village in Malawi called Neno. And you guys are all about to be like, oh, but we eat stink bug. Stink bug.
We're about to be like, what?
Yeah. You
Why-
cook
why
it,
would
you
we do
fry
that?
it.
Why would
It's
we do
called
that?
Ngunguni. Ngunguni or Nkumbi. No, Nkumbi would be the termites. So we catch the termites, Nkumbi, and then there's Ngunguni. But Ngunguni is specific to my area. So Nkumbi, the termites generally in Malawi, you'll find it. But Ngunguni specifically to the area that I'm from.
They have like a lot of protein.
Firstly, it's the green stink bug. So we've got a more of a brown stink bug or a grey stink bug in SA. In that area, it's like bright green. And it's in abundance and people eat it. There's a poverty-stricken area. I mean, when we drive up there now with our cars, people still run away from cars in that area. It's extremely, yes. I remember we took this girl who was like 16 on like a car ride. She's like, I've never been in a car. Can we go?
Dope.
And
Escalator.
she starts
Escalator.
She starts puking, guys. This girl starts puking because she's never been in a car. She didn't know. And I remember she was crying. She was like, does this mean I'll never get on a car again? And
Come on.
we explained that, no, you'll get used to it after some time. And so, like, people are living a different life to you and
That's
I.
perspective.
You know?
A good perspective is looking as a utaki, your extended family. How many of your aunts, uncles, grandparents have ever owned or driven a car? Before we get to flights
Yeah.
or who have a driving license. Why we were going to say,
Because kissing bug.
yeah, but you're from Malawi.
Skatontina.
You do you have a I know we spoke about this privately, but just 2-cent comment on Chidimma Vanessa
Oh.
Adetshina.
Okay.
Because clearly now we're realistic interrogate ukuthi kuse. Futhi ku Daily Thetha ngazothatha
I
ipanza
don't know
abantu
the
abamnyama.
details. Onale, was she born here?
She was born at Pimville, apparently, Pimville, Soweto, at Krisani Baragwanath
where's-
Hospital, and she's South African. She's got a South African ID. Her father's from Nigeria. There was a lot of confusion around her mom because they were saying her mom is Mozambican. Then it was like her mom is Zulu. Then it was like, no, her stepmom is Zulu. So we're not sure.
I think it's really important for us to answer the question, how long does it take for somebody to be socialized? If technically, I get a Khoisan are the natives of South Africa, so we're all foreign,
Arguably, yes.
arguably. So what are we saying? It's 3 generations must pass. There must be a number then. You know, if we're going to argue against her, because the government is saying she's a citizen.
Yeah, the law says that.
The law
I think
says-
Julius also said,
Yes.
look, if she was born here,
Yes.
she's South
so
African.
if the law is saying this, then we need to take it up with the law and we need to restructure what it means to be a South African. I think the border. I know you're gonna hate this, but I really do.
why would I hate it?
Okay, I wouldn't.
But it's true. White people created the borders.
Yeah, and I wouldn't
Yes.
ostracize another African. I would never do that. So
Are you proudly South African
I am proudly South African
or proudly Malawian?
and proudly Malawian.
Both.
I am proudly African.
Are you proudly South African?
What's your problem?
So one of the biggest issues with this chick is the fact that she doesn't seem to be proudly South African. She seems to love her Nigerian heritage
But
more.
what's wrong with that? What's wrong with like?
She's gonna be an
embracing-
ambassador for South Africa as Miss South Africa.
She is South African, but
No,
what's,
no, I understand that technicality. I'm saying not me.
yeah.
The issue that a lot of people have.
Uh-huh.
She seems to be more proudly Nigerian than proudly South
Oh,
African.
man, I think-
her social media, the flag, the things she says, what you were saying about socialization, I don't think she knows any of our indigenous languages. So she speaks English and I'm saying these are the things that are bugging people, and I wanted to ask your opinion on
Honestly
specifically
speaking-
Miss South Africa.
Honestly speaking, I'd love to I'd love to see a time where we're proudly African, and proudly African in that where the Europeans can't differentiate us. You get what I'm saying?
But that would be a Miss Africa pageant.
I
This is a
hear
Miss
you.
South Africa pageant.
I
There's
hear
already
you.
people with
But
issues with like
imagine-
white people.
Imagine white
Asian
people come,
people.
they put the border, ne?
Sure.
And this generation understands that so much that we don't allow ourselves to be differentiated. By
I
that.
disagree
So
with
when
you.
somebody promotes Boo Yoruba,
I disagree with you.
I'm sure you do disagree with
We're
me.
on Twitter. No. I'm saying we're on Twitter where this
Yes.
generation is the one with the issue and saying these
I
people
hear
must
you.
go.
I'm saying I would love to see.
Oh, I
Yes.
thought you were saying they understanding.
No. I would love to see where we really do understand that these borders were, but we don't. And we see it all the time. You know, I feel like we're constantly being pitted against each other as Africans, always.
No, of course.
Yeah, and I don't subscribe to it. I really don't.
See ya.
I just want to ask, what's the importance of Miss SA?
What is it? Yeah.
Like,
It's sport.
It's a sport.
That's like saying what's the importance of rugby. You go.
You see it as just performance for entertainment.
Yeah,
That's all.
that's how I see it. Yeah,
Miss SA or any beauty pageant.
yeah.
it's a sport.
It's a celebration of women who are deemed good looking according to.
Why?
Is that the answer you're asking?
I'm just trying to
Why
understand,
does it
like,
exist?
yeah,
What's
like,
its
What's the purpose? Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it's to display women like meat.
Because they always,
Like bodybuilders. Same thing. It's like, look at this person who
But
looks
you
like
would
this.
consider bodybuilding a sport?
No. Yes. I
So-
wasn't disagreeing with you.
Okay.
I'm just trying to explain that it's a display of human beings that look a certain way.
But then isn't the question more like what's the purpose of competitions and things like that? What's the purpose of the Olympics?
No, but you guys can answer Usia. I don't think it's for us.
Yes.
So they're just saying it's a competitive sport.
No. But I think you just maybe never thought of it as a sport. But it's a sport.
never,
Yeah, it's a sport. In the same way you showcase somebody's rugby skills, gymnastic skills, you're showcasing their beauty skills,
and
gift.
how they can answer questions.
I mean, I think the answering question came with people like Penn saying stuff like showcasing beauty. And so they tried to add another layer to the competition.
World peace.
So I think they tried to add another layer. Like in gymnastics, there's different. Like I've been learning now with the Olympics, there's different. So there's the difficulty versus the like
Artistic.
artistic, the poise and the posture. So there's different categories. So one of them is your ability to articulate yourself, and it's just a category of the sport.
So where's the sport, or where's like ugly people?
Yeah.
The other ones.
Yeah.
The other ones.
For us, we can
To be honest, let's not underestimate. I'm sure if we Googled, we'd probably find. We really would probably find like there's a pageant for ugly people. So I can't
beauty
speak on
pageants
that.
are old, man. But I'll tell you, a lot of people, because of this lady, and shout out to her, whether she's aware of it or not. Shout out to her for raising so many issues around this. Number one, who is South African? What does it mean to be born here? The colonial borders. Who owns Miss South Africa? It's owned by Sun International, which was actually... Well, Sun International was founded by Saul Kirsner, whose parents are actually immigrants. So it becomes ironic that, well, the company that owns this thing, which is private, it's not even a government thing,
Sure.
was also kind of created by
Foreign.
a parent. Sorry?
What you saying?
Saying?
This whole thing, my tax is not affected.
Not that I know of, but I can't confirm or deny. But this is the issue that people have, right? So outside of all the different layers where South Africans have issues with people that are not legally here per the borders and what and the jobs and the crimes and the whatever, the problem here is it's Miss South Africa. And this person is meant to go to Miss Universe, maybe Miss World. They're meant to speak on platforms, and someone's going to put a mic in her face. So what is your favorite South African story? What is a very popular South African saying that you can...
But they
what is
never
your
ask those
expe-
questions though.
No, I'm just making an example that
okay.
these are the things. And then people are like, but this lady doesn't represent South Africa, to a point where part of the debates were white people. And it's like, well, the white people don't get on a platform and say, I'm proudly Dutch because my parents. They're like, no, I'm South African. And this lady seems to just be Nigeria. It's like, Siswami, you're meant to be like, say, Soweto, Ikaslami. So we can be like, look, she may not be from here, but because in the conversation, a lot of names were brought in. DJ Fresh from Botswana, Connie and Shona Ferguson, Botswana, Oskido from Zimbabwe.
Skido Gilazim.
Sure. You didn't know?
I didn't know that. That's really cool.
Oscar. Then you've got the mixed breeds, because she's meant to be a mixed breed, half Nigerian, half South African. Your Trevor Noahs, your Shoma Josies, your Sizwe Mpofu Walshes. And the question was, why this chick? And some people were like, look, outside of everything else, these other people are not meant to be ambassadors of South Africa. And she's meant to be. And she doesn't seem to be representing that. If anything, she's defending this Nigerian thing so hard. It's like, all of us can do that, but when you're on a platform...
That's intended for you to represent a certain country.
There's a
And you've been...
lawmaker at
I don't know.
DA who's Mazzotti or whatever. Isn't she Italian or something?
Yeah, she's, I think, immigrant parents, Natasha Natasha something.
I think we really do need to establish at which point is somebody South African.
Bo, you had a
Because
question.
I feel like the Khoisans are looking at us and saying none of y'all are South African.
Yeah, but there's like 5 of them as well, so.
I did was more just like following the conversation that people also looking at how there's an Asian or Chinese lady also then participating.
They are, yeah.
And why is there no issue with that versus there being an issue with Chidimma?
The big elephant that was raised was Nigeria. South Africans don't like Nigerians.
That's when they were saying it goes into a xenophobic chat because why
Sure.
bothered that side and you're not bothered?
Well, Afrophobic, but specifically Nigerians. Because people were like, what if she was half Ethiopian, half Somalian, half Kenyan? South Africans wouldn't be as angry as the fact that it's Nigerians.
I agree.
So, but these were the conversations that were raised. This is not me saying it.
I do understand the kind of question around if your intent or your intention is to be an ambassador, and then the way you speak and stuff is so maybe in defense of your Nigerian side, but
Yeah.
pro your Nigerian side, it is a little bit of a slippery slope. But
Sure.
as being like a first gen myself, I can understand the kind of need to defend where you're from, even though you're in a different country. I think it's tricky because she has a platform and because of what she's going for. But I wonder if it's protection or defending of.
I mean, I haven't followed much. I don't know how much she's completely, but as somebody who's half and half, I know how much.
Half what?
Half Malawian, half South African. I see like the pride that, my family, has when I remember them,
Sure.
and so
And all of us should be comfortable to embrace whatever our roots are.
but it's just like when Trevor goes over, we're proud of him. So there is something about when somebody does something and then they're like,
When they do
18
great
moyeng, 18 moyeng, and then all the vowel
If
people
this chick
stand
won
up.
Miss SA and won Miss Universe, a lot of people would like her. And I think one of the things, because I made a video about it, and one of the things I said is she's got such a great opportunity right now. Outside of Miss South Africa, the spotlight is on her. She could build such an amazing brand where she tackles these hard issues. And it's like, this chick is so amazing. You speak about first gen. There's so many mixed kids here. Hachiva Taimani, rugby player as well. Also, Nigerian father, Xhosa, South African mom. You've got an opportunity to not get angry. To just maybe highlight things like, but you know that Miss South Africa is actually owned by immigrants. Do you know that there are all these white, do you know the colonial borders? And she could have won us over because South Africans love Nigerians, a lot of them. If you look at Niger movies, Mr. Ibu, Sade, some people didn't know Sade was Nigerian. Davido, outside of AKA Burna Boy, there's a lot of Nigerian people we love. And then there's, because this was the elephant in the
Did
room.
you say outside of AKA?
Yeah, Burna Boy and AKA had a tiff at some point.
Okay.
But I mean,
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
at Delicious Fest and they sold out.
Yeah.
So, people love him. So, it's not necessarily that they hate Nigerians for the sake of. Because part of this thing with this chick was her father even here legally? But it speaks to the layered issues we have as a country and then the colonial aspects of as well. And also the fact that Nigerians, some of them, a few of them, are going around the world doing whatever they do. And places like the Middle East now reject their visas. Places like in the UK, I think they have the highest rejection rate. They must also take some type of, and this chick could have addressed, there are certain people who make it bad for some of us. Some of us are really good people. And mention some of the good people that you love and I think she missed out on that part. Some of the best global, even in America, some of the best doctors are Nigerian. She's planning to be an ambassador of something. She could have used it. She doesn't have to. I'm just saying she could have used this where even if she doesn't win, so many people are going to invite her to the UN, whatever, to come and speak on these things. And she missed it.
Well, I mean, it's still ongoing. So
Yeah.
your advice she's been received. Well received.
We'll see. You mentioned the Olympics. Shout out to Simone Biles, the greatest gymnast of all time. Have you been watching at all?
In a TV.
Let's see what the next topic here is. Natasha Mazzoni was the lady you were looking for.
But no. There's that runner girl, Shakari, who came second.
Yes, Sha'Carri Richardson.
Yes. Is it Shakari? Is that how you pronounce it?
I'm not American, so I don't know.
And then she came second to the girl from Saint
Lucia.
Yeah.
Julian Alfred.
Yes, which I found, it was a catch-22 for any black woman. Because we're all like supporting Shakari, our slay queen there in front with the long hair and the nails, whatever. But there was something about this girl that was like very endearing and very representative of black women. As
Alfred.
well. Yes.
No,
said what I said.
she's dark.
Yes.
Is it because
As
she's
in-
dark
No.
or darker than Shakiri?
No.
She's from a small island,
I'm not comparing any looks. There was just something about her people from her background.
not American.
And I think it was the first Olympic award they've had
yeah,
in like how many years or whatever. And you just saw
I
the
think
underdog.
I think first ever.
yeah.
Was it
St.
first
Lucia's
ever?
got 180,000 people.
Yes. And so it was just something
Nazi
about like
class.
celebrating the underdog, but it was a difficult like catch-22 for all of us.
Because
I
it's an
think.
underdog with another black person
Yes. And you're just
whose
like
family
"Ish,
was brought in as
Mara,
slaves.
Shakari. Yeah. So it was a difficult one, but it was nice. Yeah, it was nice. I celebrated both of them. Yeah. And then there were the guys that came in.
Yeah, took the tightest 100-meter race I've ever seen in my life.
You shared something about the rules. It has to be the torso. Share that again.
Is that even important? We'll raise it. I'll raise it for the sake of raising. So, shout out to Noah Lyles. He won. South African boy Akani Simbine came fourth.
Imagine.
Second was Kishane Thompson from Jamaica. Jamaica's been dominating, and I think it's the first time. They said first time in 20 years that America wins. I think at the 100 meters with Noah Lyles, to show how far Jamaica's been dominating. And at the last Olympics, Elaine Thompson-Herah, Shirley Ann Fraser-Price, and Sharika Jackson won 1, 2, 3 at the 100 meters. And this time there was issues. Shirley Ann pulled out because of a hamstring. Sharika pulled out of the 200 meters because of whatever. I think an injury as well. But yeah, in the men it was the tightest ever. Number 3 was Fred Curley from America. And it was so close that if you look at the feet, Fred Curley's foot passed first and then Kishane Thompson. And then if you look at the head, because normally athletes lean in, Noah Lyles is right there with Kishane. But the rules of the Olympics and any 100-meter what is, they don't count the head. For people that don't know, you can put your head in. They don't count the head. They don't count the neck. They don't count the foot. They don't count the hand. They count the torso, excluding the arms. So it's just this part here, the first that crosses. And we had a lot of debates with guys. And ultimately, the one argument I accepted was all the athletes know this. So you know you must put in your torso first. So if you're running and you kick your foot and your head is back, it's like, well, you know that it's torso. So do better. What a tight 100 meters. And yeah, it's going to go down in the history books. But shout out to Noah Lyles, man. And he's going to the 200. We're shooting this on what's the day today? The 6th of August. Swaggy says he'll be able to get this out on the 7th. Has he left?
Tomorrow.
He says he'll get this episode out on the 7th. Tomorrow. Jeez, pressure.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get it out, then it's going to be next week. But yeah, we'll probably have known by tomorrow who will have won the 200 meters. But that's his best. He might get a double gold.
Sure.
Yeah, but Julianne Alfred for the women is putting pressure on the second favorite, who's meant to win, Gabby Thomas from America, because Sharika Jackson is out, and she was looking to break the world record.
Pen, I know you're a sports person, so tell us. Casta, okay? I'm not joking. Who's Casta?
Ukasta?
Yeah.
No, benginayo lapha.
Man.
Manje impintsha Ukasta ngisho.
Honestly, where is she?
Yes, I'm not sure. I haven't followed up. I have a feeling she had those back and forth cases, of which there were scandals now with arguably 2 male-born fighters, one from Algeria, one from somewhere else, who have been boxing in the Olympics, beating up women. Hey, huge scandalous.
So wait, male born?
Yeah, so I can't confirm that.
Okay.
But the rumors were like these people were born male.
Transition?
We don't know if... So I don't know about transition. Then there's testosterone. And this is where Custer's name came up again.
Okay.
Because there were many people defending them. And it's like, but we didn't see this defense with Custer, who's actually a woman. You know, but then there were other things raised. Which now we live in a world where people born male are allowed on a platform to be beating up women. Because the one woman literally stopped the fight saying she couldn't breathe. Like George Floyd. And she stopped. She said they were punching too hard.
I think it's going to be tricky with Olympics and stuff going forward because people are so, in terms of, I don't know, gender roles and things like that changing and people transitioning and all of those things. How does that affect, I wonder how that's going to affect sports and things, because if you identify as a woman Will you not be allowed to?
For the second time, we had mixed relay. For the second time ever, 4x400 mixed. So a man, woman. There's probably going to be more of those as time goes by. So that's going to be interesting. But at least that's running. So
What's the stance right now? With regards to people that are trans? Where do they play?
I don't know.
I also don't know.
With the Olympics specifically, if you're a trans woman or a trans man, I don't know if you get given a thumbs up to compete. I don't know.
They need to have their own Olympics like the Paralympics.
Who's they?
Yeah.
They, I'm right.
Who's they?
The ones that identify themselves as they.
So you're saying you think they need to be like Paralympics, like there needs to be a trans.
For them,
Uh,
they can have their own one like the Paralympics.
There's too much red tape or.
Too much red tape?
And they don't know how to identify as.
I think we had a trans woman candidate or finalist at Miss SA last year or the year before. I think the year before that we had a plus size.
Recupa more plus size.
Huh?
Recupa more plus size.
Trans to, in terms of special to plus size.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, Angiti, they have these categories, right? And it becomes a thing. Because other people are like, no, we need a plus size Miss SA or a whatever. So she was highlighted specifically because we've got plus size models.
I mean,
Weight restrictions around. I wonder if there are weight restrictions and things like that around entering these competitions and these pageants.
I don't think so.
More mixed weight,
I don't think so.
variety of weight.
I don't think so. But if a woman is proudly plus size, like the models, they say we're representing women that look like us.
Yeah, it's like boxing.
And to be-
Lightweight.
to be honest, while we're talking about like representing South African representation, whether this Nigerian girl really represents us, what about the argument of like size? You know, if you look at the average South African woman, size 36, size 38.
No, it's been an argument forever. Like, one of the conversations I was hoping we were going to have, which it didn't graduate to, sadly, because no one is creating the platforms for these things. It's assuming we were to nationalize Miss South Africa and the government owns it. Who would we want to win? Would it be the average? Would it be the supposedly most beautiful, most athletic? Or do we want someone who, when they go there, you're like, this is a South African woman? And not just for SA, but for everyone. Do we want stereotypes? When we watch Miss Universe, do you want to see Miss Puerto Rico look? That's exactly how they look. When you see Miss Japan, must she be? Is that what we actually want? Because
Sure,
I
that's
think
a
what
difficult
I
one.
said in my video is it's happening around the world where you're getting your first, let's say, black Miss Germany. You're getting your first Chinese
Yes.
Miss France.
Yes, I hear you.
You know, and you're like, we are changing.
We are changing.
And
hear
what
that.
does it mean if you've got Miss France, who is of Chinese heritage, who's coming there to be like, I represent France? What does it mean?
I think it goes back to the fact that it's a sport and there are certain standards. So there are certain global standards of beauty. And so we would, instead of bringing what represent, I don't know. This is what I think. Actually, I need to reel this
Speaking
one
about
in.
plus size, I mean, it was a conversation to Zozibini and her hairstyle.
Yeah.
And I think Mashudu, whatever,
Yes.
who was bald. Those
Yes.
become conversations.
Yes, but what about, that means that on a global stage, they were seen as beautiful. Because we need to send our best candidate. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like saying, here our gymnastics ki ukhiba. Right? You know what ukhiba is?
No.
It's a Sotho dance that you... Okay, ooh, tough crowd. But basically, imagine...
It's got twerking.
No, man.
Because you look like you were... hey, maybe you were plugging Gen Z.
What I'm saying is we can't now, according to the South African standard, we would lose on a global stage. So we're supposed to represent what will make us win according to
Yeah,
global
but who
rules.
defines that, global rules? Those are the issues we have.
But they're judges.
I think men should make that decision.
Of course.
Do you know why?
Why?
Why, Sia?
Because I don't want a baddie representing me.
Miss SA. Miss SA.
Yeah.
What's a baddie?
But wouldn't a baddie be the best representation?
Not for me.
Why, okay, why not?
No, I'm saying this because like men globally would be attracted to our baddies. So wouldn't you want your baddie at that level? Like, oh snap, South African girls, damn.
A baddie hardly, not never, hardly has a good head on her shoulders.
So that becomes
What's a
secondary.
baddie?
You don't know what's a baddie?
No.
It's a bad bitch.
Go on Instagram.
And then go where when you're on
It's a bad bitch. It's basically slay queens, hot chicks, fat ass, BBL.
Guys, This is problematic.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I think women that stereotypically, which South African women across the world are known for having the stereotypical baddie body, small waist, big booty, big hips, right? And women like that, just think about it. How many of them do you see in corporate? Think of like a real mama looking young girl who's maybe 22, 23, who's got a small waist and huge hips and a bum. And because of that body, that represents what, our demographic of South Africans looks like. So, we're limiting her ability to think, to become a chartered accountant. Not limiting, but we're shortening the conversation if we say if you look like that, you don't have a good head on your shoulders. That doesn't make sense. You can't say that. It's problematic.
No, he's using the reference of the reference of IG influencers, not any girl that looks like that. That's why he references baddies. It's like a culture thing. It's like saying a blesser, and you see some guy, and it's like, oh, he doesn't fit the stereotype. So he's speaking about a specific. He's not saying a girl with a big bum is stupid. He's saying baddies, specifically baddies, who happen to look like that.
Okay.
In his
Pen
defense.
Pen saved you because I was angry. I was angry.
I said, Tobias, welcome to the. Hey, but we'll see you just now. Who the fuck invited this out here? Olympics, Miss What? Okay. You and I actually had topics to go through, and I don't even think we've gone through them.
No, I want you to walk through corporate.
Ish. So
You don't want
the corporates is the one thing that we'll cover. And then the second thing is I'd like you to tell us about your journey thus far at Daily Thetha. I think that would be really dope. And then in closing, I'd like you to give your thoughts. We're in Women's Month, which is August, and any thoughts you might have around that. This is not like pressure to represent women, but just your thoughts around the month and what.
I got you guys. Yes.
Corporate.
Yeah. I mean, you and I had a chat and you were telling me about your journey of leaving corporate, and I thought this was really interesting because often when I complain about work, not even often, once, and I don't forget the conversation, like I'll just be complaining about like work and my mom will also be complaining like, and then this colleague did this, and then, it's so toxic. It's always so toxic. Everybody you talk to is always so toxic at work. And my mom said something that I don't forget. She said, working is unnatural. It's this thing that's
Working is unnatural.
Yeah, it's this thing that, like, well,
Or having
in
a
formal,
job.
yeah.
Having a job is unnatural. Okay.
It's this thing that's taking you away from your kids. It's this thing that's taking you away from your family. It's this thing that's taking you away from being able to exercise, being able to cook better meals, whatever else you could be doing with that time. So when people get there, you can't not expect them to be toxic. We're actually all low-key sad to be there, right? So we're all moving in like... And it's made me see the workplace differently. It's made me see the people I work with as you'd rather be at your 12-year-old's soccer practice.
Yes, but you're here, so why add to the toxicity?
Especially for some of us that are trying. Hey,
We're all just trying.
I must deal with your moodiness.
Because I'm
Because I don't really want to be here. I suck. Sorry, Bo.
Why'd you leave corporate?
Sorry, Bo. You were...
No, please. It's 2024. Gentlemen, carry on.
No. I interrupted you. You're
Pen,
first gen. So
Pen,
you were
oh my gosh, Pen.
I'm kidding.
Why'd you leave
Sorry, Bo.
corporate?
Please.
Oh, no, I don't know. I'm good.
You were saying it's already sucky, so why would you add on to the
It's
toxicity?
already a tough place to be in, knowing those things. You have things you want to do. You have maybe other people that depend on you, whatever. Why then come into that space knowing what you're somewhat kept away from, only to add to that? I'm not talking about bad days or whatever it may be. I'm talking about the actual ill treatment of people, whether it be from an up-down perspective or people on your level. It just makes no sense to me. You spend the most amount of your time at work, let's say 40 hours a week, whatever. If I'm going to spend my time here away from my people and things, wouldn't I want to have that environment be as healthy, inverted commas, as it can be?
You know what, Bo? You're actually speaking to something, for me, always speaks to somebody's like really high EQ. Because often we allow different parts of our lives to trickle into having a bad day at work, you let it out on your family, or having a bad relationship at home. And so somebody with really high social intelligence or not social, emotional intelligence, can really distinguish and separate their struggles between different spaces. But I don't think that's the standard.
I think the people who lack EQ should work from home.
Jeez. Oh, hey. Hey, hey.
You shouldn't be allowed in the office. You might be great at what you do, but in terms of people, you can be bringing a team down by your demeanor, your ways of being, whatever it may be. And the higher in a position you are and the more EQ I feel like you lack, and I'm not saying you have to be the softest person, whatever, just understanding. I think that it has more of a detrimental effect on the people around you and the business than people in power, the bosses, may realize, because it has a knock-on effect. It trickles down. It makes people start to quit quietly or whatever it may be. It spreads. I think it has an acidic...
Especially if you're a manager.
Oh,
Yeah.
honey, don't get me started.
Quarantine them.
Yes, exactly.
But it never happens. I only know one story, and both your story, the previous organization that you worked for, where you had like a terrible line manager, and her bosses came and apologized to you guys as the employees. Do you remember
It
that?
was a she, just asking for a friend.
Yeah.
It was a she.
Was she black?
No one
Ah.
would like keep times in a diary.
Yes. Okay.
And her boss came to apologize to the team. Like, we actually realized how this person has been tormenting you guys. I've never heard of a story like that. When I heard that from Bo, I was like, damn.
There are a lot of toxic managers out there. A lot.
Too much. And I
Yeah.
don't think that there's... I think it's tricky. You can have people that are great in their position and they are killing it via business, but they shouldn't necessarily interact with people or have the influence on people or be that close to impact them, because you're just planting seeds, I feel like, of things that just make people start wanting to leave. People stay in places that feed them, and not unrealistically so. I get it. I'm at work. This is not my home. You're not my bestie. I get
Yeah.
it. But I am at work. I'm also here like you are. So I think it's ciao. I'm gonna stop
Damn. I thought corporate had changed when I got to the companies I was working for back in 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013. I thought corporate had changed because I'd read all the articles online and I realized it hasn't. Because my understanding, and you'd think these are global standards, you promote people that are great at getting the best out of people. You don't promote someone who's a high performer. That's not how it works, or that's not how it's meant to work. You've done so well, you're killing it, I'll make you a manager. Like, business philosophy isn't that. Business philosophy says we will pay you more because you're really good at this thing you do. We'll promote this person who really, when you speak to everyone, they're like, when Pen comes in, man, we just want to work harder. Why are you guys working weekends? It's for Pen. But, I mean, you're not getting paid. I don't want to let Pen down. Fuck. Because when it's him, you know what I mean? Like, you listen to the Springboks and Rassie Erasmus. They play for him. Yes, they play for South Africa and their salaries, but they don't want to let him down. You promote that person. Even if they suck at, like, their job. It's like what they get
people
out of
skills.
people is
Sure.
amazing.
And you can't train someone on that. I think it's left in you.
We can debate that.
Okay.
But I take your opinion.
Okay, I'll see you offline. Yeah.
Nothing wrong. We'll take it offline and we'll address it. We'll ring fence and differ.
Park it.
So why'd you leave corporate?
No, I hear you. I think it's what Bo said. I was forced to work from home, but I fired myself. I was like, I'm bringing the team down. I'm lowering the morale. I'm gonna try and go back to what we discussed. I've been on a constant journey of extreme, aggressive self-awareness. And then I try to express it extreme and aggressive. And normally, like, people catch feelings on social media. Most human beings will never go through the exercises I've been through. And part of them are just figuring out who and what type of animal you are. Because once you figure that out, you're not meant to be in spaces that are not for you. There are spaces for people. And there are spaces that are not for people, but where they can kind of get by. Then there are spaces where, you know, there's a video that goes viral. It's reshared many times. This little girl, this little white girl on a soccer pitch, She walks up, she tries to kick a soccer ball, she kind of misses, and then she does
Yeah, I
like
love
a
it.
shit job.
Yeah.
And then as soon as she walks back to the line, she
starts doing cartwheels
and it's just like you're in the wrong sport. So the schooling system, and I've been wanting to do this for years, but maybe I won't for whatever reason. Yindlela phakathi manje.
Uphuzani,
Yeah. Hey, yazi lo muthi wami kodwa mfowethu.
what are you drinking?
I'm drinking this, which I don't know now what it is. Anyway, sorry.
Let's see.
You. What is that?
Brother, no, but it's like flavoring. It's like little fruit pieces.
Fruit pieces.
I'm telling you. It's like little fruit pieces.
No matter taga just loyo go to.
No, it's little
No,
fruit
it's
pieces.
fruit bits. It's cells.
Give me fruit pieces.
Yazu Swaggy warned me about this before the thing, and I saying I won't manage.
You'll find that if you
It's
open the
swaggy, you
can
call
and
it.
put it in, we'd find more stuff. We don't actually know what's in the can. But it's not a bad thing. Give fruit, man.
Give fruit too. Did you make this at home?
Don't fruit to me. Don't do that.
This is how
I don't give
Ongamla
fruit.
program us. They clone Tyrone. Now I'm a particles la. Of mental imprisonment. I think pools are fruiting over. It's too late now. Fuck.
Yeah.
I'll speak about the girl, the sport. So I wanted to create a school that is constantly assessing kids in various ways, whether they're in a maths class or what, running, to build like a algorithm model of
Yeah.
Umbali's best served doing this. So he won't stop doing maths, even though he sucks at maths. He'll do some maths, but there'll be more of a focus on the creative.
Sure.
Because this is what he excels in. We spend so much time trying to get kids to improve on what they suck at. So a kid will get 30% for maths and get 90% for English, and we'll be like, no, the English is fine. Let's do more maths. Instead of, no, do more English. The child is obviously fucking good at this thing. You know what I mean? So I wanted to create something like that so that kids could be, and adults could be, put in the places where they are best served for who they are.
You know, I 100%. Are you done? Sorry, it looked like. No, sorry. Please continue.
Go for it.
No. Continue.
So with me, I think I kind of figured out from a young age what I wanted to be.
Yeah.
Because you can see what kids gravitate towards just naturally. I went to tertiary because it was expected, and there's also like a curse that we don't speak about of getting good marks. There are kids that get good marks, but they actually shouldn't be in those industries. Some of them break out and they're lucky, but most, if you got an A in maths and an A in science, you're fucked. You want to go and study engineering, medicine, whatever, and it's like, but I also got an A in art, but no one's speaking about that, and that's what I actually enjoy doing. So I was in corporate because I was expecting a child. I actually wanted to become a visual artist, to be honest. I was expecting a child. The right thing to do is to get a stable job, and I had qualifications in accounting and economics, but I always knew I didn't want to be there. Luckily, I'd started on business and entrepreneurship, and I figured that would be my exit. I will make money so that I can do what I want to actually do, which people claim doesn't have money, which is the arts. So, yeah, May 2013, the month I was expecting 2 of my kids, I quit. But on the journey there, and these become the signs, right? And this is not for people to say, if you see these signs, quit. No, don't be stupid. I had a plan of sorts. There was a day, and I'm sorry for my manager if ever they hear this. There were 2 days. I'll specifically reference the one where I was driving to the Joburg CBD to my work. And on the way to the highway, I'm supposed to off-ramp onto Moy. And I, without thinking, drove past. So I'm into, oh shit, I missed my off-ramp. Let me catch the next one. I kept driving on the M2, N3 towards the airport, Linksfield. I kept going, and then mid-rent, I found myself at the Pretoria Art Gallery. I was so happy. I spent the whole day in Pretoria. I was at the gallery. I went to mainland, bought myself lunch. Obviously, I sent my boss a message saying, no, I'm sick, or whatever fucking lie I gave. But I wasn't happy. And to Bo's point, it's not ideal so I was a good performer, and I think I was cool in the team. People liked me, but it wasn't ideal for me to be there. So I worked my way out of that, and I left. Corporate is an amazing space. And for the companies I was working for, they are multinationals. They have reach across the continent, other countries. They have so many different departments. Sometimes you're not in the wrong company, you're in the wrong department. So it's like move from the trading desk and go work in marketing. It'll change your life. Move from human resources and go work at the CSI where you're working with kids. You're just in the wrong department. But I just didn't want to be there at all. So I left, and luckily for me, and most entrepreneurs struggle with this, or corporate turned entrepreneurs, you must be willing to be poor. Otherwise, again to Paul's point, fuck you and your issues. Suck it up and make sure that the environment is as healthy as it can be. Because we also don't want to be here. But we're not going to be fucking nursing you because you're like, but guys, I actually wanted to do art. Well, but so what?
I hear you. To what extent are we human in these corporate spaces? I had a student say to me today that she's a good performing student, and you only come to these sessions that we have, these academic advice sessions, when you're failing or you're doing badly. So she walks in and she shares her marks. I'm like, hey, another overachiever, and then she says, no, but I'm not doing as well as I want to do. So I'm like, okay, we go through a bunch of study techniques and, we have a great session. And then towards the end, I always ask, but where do you think things went wrong for you? And then she says, when I was 11, I lost my dad to cancer. And in molecular medicine, this block, we were doing cancer. And they kept saying the word brain tumor, tumors, this. And it triggered me over and over. And I just found myself having anxiety when approaching studying, and a newfound sense of grief, and she's like, it's been over 10 years I've been grieving my dad, but I really struggled. And I really felt like I wish I could do something and say, pause, the student needs a moment, but we can't. The syllabus keeps moving. So I'm just, in corporate, what does a good manager do when you're going through, I should have been AKA, and I'm here? What does a good manager do?
No plan B, this is all I know.
What do we do? How do we keep the day-to-day moving? Or you get what I'm saying?
Some companies have amazing human resource staff so you're supposed to speak to these people. The problem is corporate makes it difficult to be honest. I fucking hate my job and I hate my manager. You lie to be polite and to not lose your job. Some human resources people are really amazing, and they will refer you for counseling, and they'll ask you, where do you think you're best served? Maybe we can try work you towards spending time there and move you out of that department. My studies were paid for initially by NSFAS and then by Ernst & Young, one of the big accounting firms. And I hope she's not at EY anymore, this lady. So there was a lady that was part of human resources at EY, and I'd do vacation employment during varsity. And I think when I was doing my honors in accounting or somewhere there, I spoke to her about, I love art and I want to make music and I want to paint. And she's like, listen, off the record, me to you, follow your heart. I know we pay for you and what, but we can always work on those. They'll write it off as or whatever. I can tell you the work that I'm doing at HR, I love it. I love coming to work. And the last thing I'd want for you, especially because you're so young, is for you to be in a space that you don't like. So I'll tell you now, you're young enough, go explore what you want. You can always come back because you're smart and you've qualified and whatever. And I thought that was such amazing advice. So
that was
you're meant to seek wise people who are also realistic. Not, am I yes man? No, girl, go and then next thing you're fucking broke and you're struggling. Someone who's going to give you paint a real picture. You will have to move home. You will have to get rid of your car. You will have, but you will then be able to do this. And then you will prove to yourself, give yourself 3 to 5 years to prove if you're serious about this thing or if you're also bullshitting. And you're like, you know what? I'm going back to corporate. Fuck this. So you just need the advice. I can't believe we're having TCC right now here. But yeah.
Skis.
Fucking hijacking a fucking platform.
Skis. Yeah.
So Pen, I was with my student, it's like the human element. Hey, conversation capital, manje. I see you. Happiness.
Yes. Yeah.
Daily Thetha Women's Month as we wrap up
Daily
this session.
Thetha Women's Month. Oh, can I just say one more thing on the corporate conversation?
Go for it.
You know what? Now, we missed the element where I think especially when we're being advised by like people ahead of us. Remember somebody else was like during COVID when nobody else had really like job was secure but doctors. And they're like, it's all fun and games to follow your passion until this moment when you realize why your parents said go be a doctor.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So,
Sure.
I mean, we're coming, especially as Africans, our demographic doesn't allow us to be, we don't
Please
have...
don't trigger me.
Ish, I know. It triggers me too, babe.
Why are you triggering me?
It triggers me too.
I'm trying to not speak.
Okay, Women's Month, Daily Thetha, let's go.
No, please finish.
No, I'm done. Everybody sort of got the end of what I was saying. Like, it's a difficult conversation to have.
Let me say this. I
Yeah.
posted this on my Instagram yesterday or the day before.
Mm-hmm.
And I said something. I've got it here. Let me not talk smack. Decolonization is just as important for white people as for black people. Colonization robbed white people of black/African medicine, science, creativity, art, story, biology, etc. When we decolonize, we open up a world that will serve all of humanity and not just black people. The reason I'm raising this is because to what you're saying, so we'll say as Africans, as black people, a lot of white people have got the exact same stresses and pains. And when you ask, why are you working here? No, because my kids and medical aid, but school fees is expensive. And there are decolonized, non-capitalist ways of being and living that are so much more healthy. Where white people go to organic medicine. They go to a retreat. And you're like, you don't need to do this if we bring in a more African way. I know in Asia, for example,
I was about to
in
highlight
some
the Asians as well. Yeah.
in some of their work cultures, they stop working at some point to stretch, to walk. It's built in because you're like, this has to be natural. You're a new mom. We do not want you to come into the office. We'll come to you. Because this is natural. We need you at your optimal to be around your kid. Do we need you in an air-conditioned little cubicle? Is that what serves humanity? Now, as a black African, it's not. And it's oppressive. But also to a white person. But medical aid is expensive. What do you need medical aid for? I've got this thing. Have you tried homeopathy? Have you tried organic? Because you might find this thing that you need is available in nature. So that you're now not imprisoned in a job just because of medical aid. But now, because of colonization and capitalism and how they've built these systems, we're now stuck and you need to break. And that's where I think some of the people, if it's not depression and those things, some people when they leave corporate, as an example, before they get to wherever they're going, they detour via like Rasta. Because they want that. They're like, hey, you know, Antoine, there's a Rasta village. The people, they don't pay rent. It's a like a community. They eat vegetarian meals. They smoke ganja.
Is there really a place called
And-
Rasta?
A place called Rasta. Konegwa Rasta, Chemistin, which is a squatter camp. Or do you mean...
I'm really asking.
I meant via Rastafarianism as a lifestyle.
Okay.
So not via Rasta as in
A
over
place.
there. No. I meant detour via Jaman.
Okay.
I was in Shai Jaman before.
Okay.
Because Rasta, as an example, could be Buddhism. It could be whatever. Gap year, whatever you call it. It's just that thing of this is meant to be a more decolonized space where we can show you how to live outside of. But I don't have medical aid. Well, we'll use herbal. And if we don't, places like South Africa luckily have free hospitals. Teach your children to love Jah and what. And you're like, this is almost like homeschooling. We birth our own kids here because, you know, we want the placenta. And then you're like, so there is an alternative way of being. And I will not be imprisoned by, I'm not getting my salary, my medical aid, my kids are getting kicked out of the schools. Like, you don't need that. Understand. Yeah, fuck it.
No. That was a really good point. Like you said, when you brought up the whole Asian thing, just the experience in China, you experience what it is to be modernized but not westernized. You get what I'm saying? Like, they've really... I love that you said you don't know the difference, because there's a huge difference. But we've been taught that whatever is modern is Western. But the Chinese are proving, with like their technology. But those people are farting and picking their noses and spitting on the ground.
Oh,
They're
Chinese people spit, by the way.
Yeah, a lot.
They have signs on the road saying no spitting here. They spit. It's a thing.
I think apparently they chew tobacco. And so that, like blowing out sniff, I think something like that.
Sure.
They
spit. It's
yeah,
a
they
thing.
spit quite a lot. But they also fart quite a lot. But they're not farting to offend you.
It's
They're
just releasing
not
gas.
westernized. So like, why kiska pinya kishapo? I gotta go, And so
Jeez.
yeah, that experience. of-
Donkey colonialism.
but
Ngabe ngiyasuzela.
but seeing what that looks like, what it could look
Sure.
like had we not been interrupted. But then I think of the Ethiopians. The Ethiopians were never colonized.
It's arguable. Someone said Uti Italy occupied them for a bit, but generally it's known that they were not colonized.
And so I've never visited
They've got their own
Ethiopia.
alphabet. They've got their
Yes.
own
I've
language.
never visited Ethiopia, but I'd like to see that. I'd like
Like
to see
say,
an African...
Ethiopian women.
Sorry?
You've had a layover.
Yes, I've had a few layovers in Ethiopia, yeah, but I've never visited Ethiopia to really get the experience of what it is to be in an African country.
They've got the oldest Bible. They've got their own calendar with 13 months.
That's where Rastas come from.
Haile Selassie, one of their prophet Muhammad. It's from Ethiopia. He was the emperor.
But I heard
Haile
that
Selassie.
Haile Selassie didn't command for people to follow him.
Well, I don't think Jesus did either.
I got from an Ethiopian. I don't know. I never like to spit facts as though when I hear it
chilled.
from someone. But this Ethiopian lady tells me Haile Selassie lands somewhere, and a Rastafarian startup group said we saw an image of you,
Yeah.
and you are
As the second coming of Jesus.
as the second coming, and you are and he was just like, oh, reel it in. Apparently, I don't know how far
Right.
true that is. Yeah, an Ethiopian lady told me this story.
It's a dope story.
Yeah, I was just like, what? Because that's
Exe.
not what I know.
I've heard people speak about East African women and Ethiopian women. I didn't get it. If you ever get a chance to be on Ethiopian Airways and go to Addis Ababa,
Yeah.
Jesus,
No, Baba Atlishin.
hey, they're like the perfect mix of black and Indian. They're the perfect mix of black and Indian.
But
So
not
you have
just
Latinas
Ethiopians.
who are like black and white, like colors. But yeah, Ethiopian women are beautiful. So I get it.
And you say black and Indian. I would have said black and Arab.
Well, you can add Arab as well.
No, they're gorgeous, shame.
Yeah.
They're very East Africans, Kenyan girls. Ooh.
On the last point that you mentioned, I've had two friends who have worked in corporate where they've never worked with white people. And I know when they've told me, when they speak about it in groups, you have to, if you've worked with white people and it's a thing. I've only worked with black people, and then they'll tell you, like, if you visit government departments or courts in KZN, Eastern Cape, the people there speak indigenous languages. You get there and you say something and they're just like, hey, Puti, mina angazi ukuthi ufunani kodwa, and you're like, to the decolonization thing, Guti, there's a space where you can go and people are speaking your language and the people share lunch. It's a thing. And the people what. And if your child is sick, you don't ask for sick leave. You're like, hey, uyamazi ngithi uThabanga ukuthi uhleze ku, hey hamba, ingane yakho nawe mele uyitholele insanga izophuza. Ngathi une asthma. No sick leave, no logging anything. Yes, it speaks to certain incompetencies in, Otaki, but those comfortable spaces where you're like, we will deliver, because the key is meant to be delivering, but it's meant to be a natural space. My legs are sore, stay at home, but just keep liaising and update us. That's all. And technology is there. You do not have to be in this fucking bullshit space. Okay, we'll speak about Daily Thetha another day. Women's Month.
Yes.
The month of Imbogodo, but black girls don't want to be Imbogodo anymore.
Hey. NFL.
I'm an egg. I'm not a rock. You.
I mean, I'm an egg is still... Hey, Pen is going to fight me, so I'm pausing midway, but being an egg is still being an Mbogoto.
Argue with Osis Bako. I'm not involved.
I'm
When you say
no.
Mbogoto, they're like, hey.
No, you know what it is? Yeah, being an egg. Yeah, send that email. Yes, absolutely.
Hard boiled.
You know what? Now, here's an
Mbogoto.
example. Here's an example. A woman that, expects a man to pay on the first date or whatever.
Which is
can,
every woman, sure.
can easily be snatched up as somebody. No, you actually are not a feminist or whatever. But if you take like what it is to be a feminist in totality, you understand that on average men earn more than women, even for the same jobs. Meaning that me speaking up and saying I can't pay for this because on average you should be earning more than me.
That applies to why. Sorry, can I want to say something.
What's going
Sorry,
on?
what?
The silence in
Oh, thank you, Penson. Yes, it's American. So I wanted to say, sorry, just for anyone, this is the danger of propaganda, by the way. For anyone who's really interested, this is for black people. Those stats are for white people. If you ever get a chance, I think Mail and Guardian did the research at some point where they split it between, there's almost like these skilled and unskilled jobs. White men by far out earn everyone, by far. Then they are followed by white women. And then it becomes an arm wrestle between black men and black women. So when black women are like, well, men earn more, they're talking about white men.
Okay.
And if you look at even the disparity between white men and white women, white men can comfortably take care of white women. So it becomes very dangerous. But your point is still...
becomes very dangerous. Okay,
considered.
I'm going to speak to...
Sorry,
Yeah.
before I go back to Cinema Males. Black women in this country on average are more qualified, degree-wise.
Shout out to black women. Wait, take it easy. Black women are more qualified than black men. Shout out to the women.
More properties.
They own more properties. Shout out to the women.
Employed. So the unemployment rate is higher for black men than it is for black women.
Hey, that's debatable.
You walk into just a Pick and Pay or a ShopRite.
No, I'm not arguing with you. I've raised this before and people have said that that's not accurate. But
No, but
sure.
okay.
Okay.
Oh, Steve Compella. Stats are like a bikini.
Okay, I'm gonna speak to practical examples when you're with women and you're chatting.
Guys, please can we respect Ursula? Let this not be a misogynistic. It's Women's Month. Thank you.
There's a specific story where a good friend of mine is trying to get a promotion and her line manager, who's a black man, says to her, "You're not married and you don't have children. What do you want money for?" A statement that you wouldn't say to a jerk, yes, but these are the realities. So, Penson, you're throwing out statistics. Women are more employable because maybe they've studied more. But I think there's certain, and I know you're going to have me for this one, but women are strategically trying to align themselves because they're tired of being at the back end. So women know that they need to work really hard, you know, and I find that often an 18-year-old boy and an 18-year-old girl, the 18-year-old girl usually does have more of a drive to go through university, especially the one that understands the effect it would have on her life not to be educated.
I understand that. I just think that we're living a life where we are being punished for what the Gen X and the baby boomers before us.
Okay.
So now you have a whole generation, Gen Zs, who grew up in the most equal world ever. And the whole system, obviously, to rectify and to fix the past, and we agree on that.
Grew up in the most unequal world.
So now they're trying to zone in on the girl child. So if you go to any school and you look at the staff, females, how they teach the system, it's very much to uplift the little queens. And it grows on and it seems as if
A little queen is a princess. Sorry.
little princess.
Thank you.
And it seems the boy child is being left behind. So you go into these schools, you go into the system that is geared for anything that is estrogen versus testosterone. You know, any boy who's hyper, who's a bit active, gets put on Ritalin and Concerta. The girls then get pushed to read, to write, to underline, to rule off. The system is geared towards our beautiful daughters, which is great. But fast forward 20 years when they're looking for a partner, when we're both 25, you know.
And the opportunities have been...
And I'm just trying to...
Before you respond, Ursula, I just want to make 2 points. The first one is Penson sounds like a white child complaining about BEE. I just need that reference that he sounds like a white child being like, well, I'm being punished about the people that came before us, and in 20 years the black child, number one. And then the second one is I just wanted to make a point on that thing of you're not married, you don't have kids. In corporate, that applies to both men and women, not just women. So when you're arguing for a higher salary, generally managers or HR will look at did you just get married, do you have kids? It's not just women, men as well. It becomes a consideration.
Okay.
Sure.
I feel like you took my point
I'm
to
so
Penson.
sorry.
No, it's fine. But I do get, you know what, there is an era, Penson, where we overcompensate, right? So when when there's been an injustice, we go through. I can't say yet that, because women are we don't have the upper hand yet, but I do see what you're saying. A lot of focus is on the girl child, and as a result, we've got a lot of men slipping through the cracks. Even if you just look at things like drug use, you know, suicide, drug use, and I'll never take that away from men's struggle. But I think we're not done with the women's struggle. Are we overcompensating, and the next generation will have some kind of discrepancy? That's yet to be seen.
Can I ask you a question?
It's the argument of like, at which point do we say, okay, we've corrected, and now we.
Hi, Baba. Hey. Respect the house. Hey, Baba. Akalaleli umchita.
So when we speak about the patriarch, we're actually talking about the white man. You know, so I'm like, I agree. Let's have these systems where the queens go through and we try to rectify. But again, they're being compared to the white man.
You know what? I can totally agree that the African struggle is not necessarily man versus woman, but blackness versus whiteness. I can agree with that. And I can see how the feminism argument has been pushed to the forefront because there's a way that they distract us. You know, so I can agree with elements of that. Absolutely. Yeah.
My question was this. You wanted to make a point about Women's Month or the importance of these discrepancies between men and women, and
is it? I can't remember what I was saying actually.
Sorry.
I lost track of my thought. I can't remember.
But I was asking your opinion on, Women's Month, and you were saying that whether egg or...
Oh, yes. That being motivating to be held as an egg doesn't negate your the fact that you're a feminist still.
Sure.
Yeah.
So my question was going to be, and it's a rhetorical question and it's not for you to answer. When we speak about the issue specifically for black men and black women, part of the problem was that black men were away from home, not providing, creating new families, having kids outside of wedlock, having kids all over the place, being deadbeats, etc. Mm-hmm. And the question would be, is the solution to empower women to be able to do things on their own? Or is the solution to fix the men so that the women don't have to need to go work and? Because we need to, all of us, not just black people, but we need to all be like, what are we trying to achieve? Are we trying to make sure that women can do things on their own? Or are we trying to make sure that men do what they're supposed to do? Because if you resolve that, then women don't have to be in spaces they don't want to be in. They can work if they want. They can be at home. They can whatever. And you find that, for me at least, because a lot of women today, they say we don't want to be in Bogotas. A lot of them are like, we hate feminism. Why do we have to go to work? Why can't men just do the fucking right thing and take care of us so that we can be feminine and happy? A lot of the people are like, women generally, not all of them, generally were not saying we want to work and make money. They were saying we'd like our men to take care of us so that we can then do whatever. And the solution became, we'll empower you to go and be a man by yourself. And now it's coming with new problems.
I don't know if I'm going to answer what you're asking me, but I think for me the solution would be to empower people to have autonomy.
Individual.
Yes. So if I want to work, man or woman, I should be able to
Individual.
work. What do you mean?
No, as in, this is not the African way, right? I'm just asking.
Okay.
Individualism.
I don't know that, but okay.
You don't know that Africa was communal and
because
you wouldn't struggle?
How is it individualism if, let's say, we are in a household and my husband is more nurturing than I am, and we decide as a team that I'm going to be the one to work? Is that individualism?
No, that's working together.
That's working together.
Correct.
So okay, then that's the ideal standard for me, where the one who wants to, the one who is better equipped to, then does the work. I'd love to be at a place where the argument isn't man, women. We talked about it on your show,
Yeah.
and it isn't, the men need to do better, because there are some men that would rather be at home nurturing, and
That's
there
correct.
are some women that would rather be in corporate.
That's correct.
And there's no blanket woman would rather be at home,
But
and
we're
they just
speaking
wish
general.
men. I hear you, and I think we shouldn't be, and I think we should be speaking towards what works per unit, and how can we normalize it looking different in every family and every household? How can we normalize that Bang Bang is a stay-at-home dad and it's not a shocker? How can we normalize that Mema Mang Mang is a stay-at-home mom? Because even stay-at-home moms nowadays are looked down on, because, hey, we're feminists, you're supposed to be, And so how can we normalize and protect the stay-at-home dads from the day they get divorced, and that they also get something with the stay-at-home moms? How can we, really equip families and households to function to the best of what they want to do and have autonomy over how their household structure will run without us saying this is the role in society? I don't want to carry the cloak of what society says I should do. I don't want to carry the cloak of what, Africanism says I should do. Yeah.
What does Women's Month mean to you? What would you like to see during Women's Month? Is there anything you're looking forward to right now?
As somebody who's, I'm sure, like, there's just a lot of gigs and speaking, so I'm just looking forward to making some money.
Shut
I
down.
love
Women's
dinner it. No, to be honest, when I see Women's Month, I see like a lot of, gigs that you need to attend and stuff.
Women's conferences.
Yeah, things like that. So that's actually what I think about. What would I like to see? I'd like to see more of these conversations. Absolutely. And
Specifically during Women's Month.
Sure, I'd be lying if I said that all the time. I'd like to see balanced conversations all the time. And I'd like to see us handling sensitive and difficult conversations with the kit gloves that they deserve, where we're not trying to... You spoke about the girl using this opportunity not to get angry, but to teach and to perhaps redirect attention to colonial borders and this and that. And so, I love that point, because that, like, in essence, that's the type of world I'd like to see, where a white person can say, ish, but since you guys have been, pushing blackness, I feel like I don't have a voice. This happened with Nina Hasty on the Conversation Capital. And people came because we said, I hear you, you should be given a chance to talk, but understand where our anger comes from. So just giving it like a balanced, black people are angry and we're allowed to be, but yes, you deserve to speak as well. So in the same way, Penson brought up this point of like, what about the boy child? We're focusing, allow people to have these discussions where, it's not unkindness that leads, but love leads, kindness leads. So that sometimes people bring up like very controversial topics and say very controversial things in an attempt to strike a conversation, but you can lead with kindness.
Are you subtweeting me?
I wasn't subtweeting you. I was just saying, do you feel subtweeted, Ben?
Why do I feel it was me?
Yeah.
She knows why.
Why do you feel it was you? Ben.
Should men be involved in Women's Month? Should we be allowed to attend women's conferences?
Absolutely, yes. I'm actually hosting an event where one of the speakers is a man.
During Women's Month, so
yes.
that is Tolama Gigs.
Yes.
Hey.
And he is speaking on how men in like management leadership, how they can support women. So his speech is to men and how they can be allies. And
so
I
men are
loved
invited.
it. Yeah. I loved that. I was like, oh my gosh, this is absolutely amazing.
Matt Walsh created a documentaries from Daily Wire. During Women's Month, should we be asking the question, what is a woman? When we've got Abo Chris Jenner, Obani? Caitlyn Jenner, my apologies, ma'am. Sir, ma'am, sir. Sir, ma'am. Sir, ma'am, sir.
This is a very difficult question
Should
to
we be
answer.
we speak, let's say African month. What is an African? Black month in America, February. What is a black? What is a black person? Should we be, what is a black? Should we be asking the question, what is a woman in 2024? Since things have changed so much and we're here now with Amatrans.
I think we've been told how to address that. And if somebody identifies as a woman, that they're a woman. Isn't that what we've been told?
I'm saying, should we not be having the conversation during Women's Month? Because there might be trans women who are like, oh my gosh, it's my month. And you're like, hey, whoa. Hey, Baba. Tina was celebrating Father's Day last year, Mina now. Caitlyn Jenner, it was Father's Day last year, Baba. Why is it Women's Month now?
I don't know what the rule is, Pen, but isn't the rule that if you identify as a woman, then you're a woman?
I'm asking, should we be having that conversation during Women's Month of what is a woman?
I wonder if the conversation's already been had and it's done. I don't know.
It's done.
I wonder.
Do you, Bo?
Okay, sure.
What is a woman?
I don't know. I'm just a girl.
You don't know you're a girl. Okay. Swaggy, what's a woman? No comment. Sia, what is a woman?
I just got here.
Sia just arrived apparently. Mbali, what is a woman? Ish. Penson, what is a woman?
It's a person with a vagina and breasts.
Oh, easy.
X chromosome.
Oh, chromosomes as well. I don't have breasts. I have a vagina and XX chromosomes.
Wow, a woman.
I have a penis. I have a penis and breasts and XX chromosomes.
Because let me tell you why I've said you're a female. Because if we dig you up 500 years from now, and your penis has disappeared and your titties whatever, and we check your DNA, it'll show XX chromosomes.
Oh, so it's only XX. Forget the vagina and the breasts.
No, yeah,
Only
No,
XX.
guys, but then now shouldn't we differentiate the argument between somebody's sex and somebody's gender?
So I asked you. I asked you.
Are you pointing?
Should we be asking what is a woman? And you said it's done. I thought it was done. If you identify, we asked here.
Yes, but I'm
Should
saying,
we not be having the
Okay,
conversation during Women's Month?
Okay, are we talking gender or are we talking sex?
That angas.
I'm talking sex. He said what is a woman.
Uh-huh.
He didn't say what is the feminine or whatever the case may be.
Okay.
Or your sexual orientation or whatever. He asked a woman.
Okay.
Which is either male, female.
Uh-huh.
So even with bees, there's a male bee and a female bee.
Mm.
So that's what he asked. What is a woman? So I went back to biology.
Ask your followers. Because you think it's done. Ask your followers what is a woman.
Okay,
Sorry,
okay,
Bo.
wait. There's a lot going on. Bo, and there's 3 hands up, yeah?
Hey, hands down, Bo.
Please distinguish between sex and gender, because the audience needs some guidance.
Yeah, a little bit.
Do you want to do it?
Do we have the same definition?
I wonder. I mean, because gender goes with, gender roles. Like a woman is supposed to clean and mop the house, and a man is supposed to. So it's got to do with like the variables around what a human. I like pink, you like blue. That's gender related issues, right? Sex has to do with XX and XY.
The forms that we fill in ask
Biology.
your gender.
But some say sex.
Yeah, but some say gender.
Then that's a different topic. Maybe they want to know gender and not sex. Maybe what's important is for us to highlight the difference. Maybe what's important is for us to say, hey guys, by the way, there's gender.
Am I proving that we need to have the conversation?
Sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely proving that.
So
we
if you
need to have
if
the
you watch
conversation.
What is a Woman, one of my takeaways was this. According to English, and English is a very difficult, complex language. Gender is man-made, according to whatever's being discussed by woke people today. So wearing earrings, wearing pink, I should be in the kitchen cooking. That is man-made. It is not a biological fact. So the fact that you like pink and wear earrings and you like makeup is what's assigned to girls and women. The fact that you like trucks and you love rugby and you like braai, you like hunting, it's man-made. That's for men. Whereas your sex is then your biology. So you may find that sex, biology, you are a woman, but you love guns. You love hunting. When people look at your interests, I love hunting, I love watching rugby, I love braaiing, obviously a gent. It's like, oh no, sorry, I'm a woman. Kanjani. Like, no, this is man-made. And this becomes the argument moving forward of genderless, where we allow kids to pick whatever colors they want. Do you want to cook or do you want to go and work in the garden? That becomes a conversation of which your biology generally is given to you at birth, but people are now starting to play around with that, with transition surgery and hormones and all those things. So then the question becomes, what is a woman?
What is gender versus sex? And okay.
Happiness.
I'm happy, sir. Are you happy? Did you enjoy having me as a co-host?
Thank you for coming through. Penson, we've got you for 10 minutes, bro. I'll feature you because you're my brother and nepotism is rife. No time.
No, I'm saying I spoke to my man. You can crazy.
Go crazy. No, don't say that to Penson. We've got 10 minutes. 10 minutes.
Let me say
Oh, that's even better. Ursula and I can close off the last 10 minutes.
Are we closing off?
Yeah, thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate you.
Cool.
Are you going to stay?
Yeah, I'm around.
Are you going to stay?
Yeah.
I think we'll hit for like 30 minutes.
Sure, I'm
You
around.
gonna stay in the room?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Ursula Mariani, everyone. Yeah. Hey, for people that don't know, Ursula is on. Mbali, can you hear me? Sorry, for everyone that doesn't know, Ursula is on Daily Thetha on SABC 1. Is it Monday to Friday?
Monday to Thursday. I remember the guest presenter.
She's a temp. Ubambi piece job. At Daily Thetha.
Of the conversation.
Don't cover my camera. Thank you. Monday to Friday.
YouTube.
Wait, man. Monday to Friday.
Monday to Thursday, Daddy.
Monday to Thursday,
Yeah.
12 to 1.
10:30 to 11:30.
10:30 to 11:30. Please catch Ursula Mariani and then the Conversation Capital on YouTube. Please subscribe, like, share, all those good things. Now that we've done our little affirmative action represent. Now that we've done our bit to represent women, just to give them, now the real episode starts. Okay. Here we go. Boom! Men are gone. Men. I think feature and represented in Fulham. Now we can start the real episode with the real.
There you go, Nkulunkulu.
Penson Mlotshwa, how you doing, bro?
Hey, siyaphila njani?
No, I'm alright, bro. We have, I think I'm giving us 30 minutes.
30 minutes.
Otherwise, the episodes becomes too long. As much as Usia wants us to keep going, and it's your fault, by the way, because
Going free? Huh?
Nah, it's your fault because you have work obligations. So unfortunately, we have limited time.
Yes, Chachumlungu,
I've got some things for you here, but I think I'll just focus on what I think is juicier. Maybe let's start off with where we ended. Your thoughts on Women's Month. I mean, you've got women in your life, I'd like to think. What does Women's Month mean to you, especially as a man? What would you like to see during Women's Month, etc., etc.?
No, so Mina, before you
Please
guys
greet the peeps. The peeps are there.
Sanbonani, people
Don't do it
behind the
quick.
camera.
Hlonipha abantu fethu. Sanibonani.
Oh, busengiqedile phela ngobingelela phela
Hey, hlonipha. Saniyaphila emakhaya.
Khaya.
Sanbonani. Sanbonani. No. Sorry.
Oh, Nkulunkulu.
That's me. Sorry.
Wena Nkulunkulu.
Danko.
Wow. Jeez. So Women's Month. So before you guys were discussing what is a woman, I'd like to distinguish that a woman is what a woman was in 1995, how we defined him in 95. So look at 2024.
So we're going
So-
back to apartheid definitions.
95 was not apartheid. Just using that definition. What you learned in grade 1.
So if a white person is like a black, he's a black in 1989.
In 1920,
That's fine for
a
him.
black is still a black.
Why can't you acknowledge where we are today?
No, because I don't subscribe to certain things of today.
Oppressive.
I can't, a person can't say, I'm a woman, therefore I'm a woman. Like, that's like someone saying, hey, acknowledge me, I'm a giraffe. But in Yakbon, you're not.
I'll catch you and put you in the Kruger Park. now.
Hey,
Driving a tranquilizer.
So like, give me, I think it's such an important month. I think it's a month where we celebrate queens. We acknowledge the challenges that they've gone through. We support as best as we can for those who are still left behind. It's a month to celebrate what we deem imbogoto.
All women.
All women.
All women.
Yeah. All
Prostitutes, criminals,
women. Bonke saba celebrate.
deadbeat moms.
Deadbeat moms saba celebrate.
Anyone that qualifies as a woman is celebrated.
I think everybody's got a story, hey. So ngisho lo sisi lono dayisa izinqa lapha eNugget ngo50 rand.
Gubkhona?
Eh? Kuphi?
Udayisa?
Udayisa ini?
Oh,
Utheni? No,
50. 5 tiger.
Ngizwe kuthiwa.
Cheeky tiger.
Baya Cheeky Tiger ke laba ke.
Mbali has cheeky tiger.
Yeah, indawo zakhe.
Umbali literally just said, yeah, go
Yes.
comfortably. And Royal Park?
Royal Park Hotel.
How does who know what? Know what?
Samzozo. Ha, check.
No, he said 50 rand, so I said 5 tiger, and I was like, cheeky tiger.
How do you know Cheeky Tiger?
What's cheeky tiger? I'll spare what 5 tiger.
Kancane uyavela wena.
Swaggy.
Wena
What's
uyavela
cheeky
wena.
tiger?
I'm asking you.
I just said 5 tiger, so I was like, hey, cheeky tiger, it's a play on
He
words.
said 5 tiger, you like cheeky tiger.
Sure, it's a play on words.
Kancane kancane.
Like a roaring lion.
Kancane
What's cheeky
kancane.
tiger?
I don't know.
You don't
I
know.
don't know. I just heard it from him. So I'm asking.
So then why would you ask if you don't know? Because I also don't know.
That's correct. So I do believe
We
that
have a
we need
cheeky
to-
tiger when ukhohlakele. Nase Summit. Nase Royal Park. Nase
Royal Park Hotel.
what's the other one? The Grand. What are
Oh,
these
the
places
Grand
you guys
Lollipop
go to?
Lounge. Zonke le ndawo nje, shout out all of them.
Zabo Swaggy,
Hey,
Nabo Sia.
sisibasebenza la ngaphandle.
Is it?
Yeah, 365 7 days a week, 24 hours.
And you're there supporting them.
No, you have to support sisbethu. Yabona.
Because they're trying to pay
They-
varsity fees.
Paying through college. And some support
Clap for tuition fees.
Man, Lungelo, but
Sorry, I
I
take that
truly
back.
do believe that everyone's got a
All
story.
women should be celebrated.
All women should be celebrated. Well, I guess only 1% I guess ngeke sibale bolile. But generally speaking,
1% of women ibolile.
no singing like that is just over.
1%.
Not 1% like that, but everyone's story.
1%.
No,
Or
not-
1% is just a
just
throw.
a throw.
Because it's Women's Month, we'll say
Yeah,
1%.
Yes.
Next month, on Chala, the real stat.
No. Osis bethu ngempela, like it's tough managing women.
How?
No, it is, and we need to love them and we need to appreciate them because yababona it's kufana nanje.
What a misogynistic line.
No, siyabathanda.
It's tough managing women.
Kufana nokuba nenje nenyawo ezi3. Yayazi inje nenyawo ezi3. Fa uyinese, uyitshengisa softness. That's why osisi bethu they are so aggressive. Because
By izinja nemlenze u3.
because asibathathi as they
Hey,
are.
the views of this
sibathanda.
show are not supported by me.
No, but I'm just saying, thina
Of this-
zamajita we're not supporting osisi bethu. Yabona, so I think ngempela Women's Month, thina masinga support osis, abanye wouldn't be prostitutes, masinga support osis, they wouldn't be deadbeat moms, masinga support osis, they wouldn't be all these negative things that we say.
Do you think there should be a specific men's conference during Women's Month that speaks on the topic of women and how men
Yeah.
can do better?
Yes.
So don't
yes.
be like, it's Women's Month. It's like, no, Women's Month is where men actually have
I've seen a lot of these
conversations
quote unquote neo-feminists and
neo-feminists.
these new age feminists, which is quite aggressively, they are pro-woman, anti-men type of. And when you look back, a lot of them have been hurt by men, So a lot of men, like the example of, you're a woman, why do you need more salary or higher salary? That actually, it blackens your heart. Yabona. So if that guy had a better way, had tact, just lalela mntaka, these are the situations, this is why, So it's not because you're a female, it's not because of this, that, but this is policy. I think isn't njalo, we sometimes, not all the time, sometimes create those monsters. And as a machita, if we can come together and say, look, we need to make sure we treat our daughters soft. Because
Soft.
no, in that sense. Yabona ukuthi we have to be tact because a little bitch becomes a big bitch. Yabona. So you nip it in the bud. Ngempela. It's not good to move very maybe it's February in 28.
Uqale yini?
Uyambona crash uhamba edlo chocolate nezinto abafana abaningi. Mase ngiyathuka ke mase
She's busy
sina
with boys tuck.
ubusy netalk mase
Amajita ashayela yini, crash.
Lanto mina ngizothi ngantshela nina ngempela we need to manage our daughters.
And shout out to those daughters that are being industrious in preschool, boy.
So hlangana nane lollipop lounge ke mase no 20 bani.
It's fine. They'll still be industrious.
Huh?
Making money.
Hayi sanibongela. Sanibongela.
Shout out to Cardi B, man.
But yeah, I do believe that as men, we need to have serious chats around how we need to better treat sources better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you planning anything for Women's Month?
Angiyoni woman, mos.
Huh?
Angiyoni woman.
We literally just said that men need to be doing better.
I do better every day.
Okay, but specifically during Women's Month.
No, man, I don't do those things like that. I won't be told to celebrate women. I celebrate women every day of the year.
Okay. So in line with what you normally
No,
do.
the masses must celebrate specific
In line with
months.
what you normally do, what will you be doing during Women's Month?
The same thing I do every day.
Which is?
Which is just love and listen and take care and make sure ukuthi I ngiyathenga igrosa ngiyamuphi girlfriend allowance. Yabona lezi zinto ezisoft. Senze inzipho. Yabona just nje ukuthi usisi naye ebe muhle ebe confident. So I try and do those traditional male roles so that she can be traditionally her.
Do you believe that men have failed women?
Yeah, of course. Of course we failed them.
In what way and how do we fix it?
So again, let's go back to that whole gender thing. So again, gender is a spectrum, feminine, masculine, right? And in different spaces, we can become feminine. In different spaces, we can be masculine, whatever the case may be. But the general man is leaning towards masculinity, general females here. Ne? So what has happened is through how capitalism has worked, we have rewarded the person who's most aggressive. We've rewarded the person who takes the most risks. We've rewarded the stereotypically masculine traits. Financially and praise and lift them up on the social hierarchy, whatever the case may be. Now you have single mothers, you have young girls who also want to be celebrated in their own way. And they've realized that the feminine role is not being celebrated. They realize, Uguti, if you become an engineer, you out-earn a teacher, which is one is more masculine than the other one, which is more feminine. If you become a doctor, which is more masculine, traditionally, you out-earn the nurse. So you have a whole plethora of females who are saying, no, Nati, we want that recognition. So I think, Tina, as a machita, in this system that the gents have created, we've also created a monster in that sense, which you've got a whole lot of females who are moving to this side of the spectrum and are becoming more masculine. They're taking risks, they're more aggressive, they're more independent, all those type of things.
Do you think men are also going through the same?
I think it's slowly going into the inverse. Because again,
men are being encouraged to move more towards the feminine.
Yeah, so what tends to happen if we look at the 1%, if we look at the Illuminati, the powers that be, they strategically want to keep power. Everyone who has power wants to keep power, right? So what you want to do is that you want to create spaces, systems within the corporate space where you bring in the more female role. No? So if
no. I was shaking my head to whatever this is that I'm drinking.
So I
think I'm done.
I look at so many companies and I realize, Uguti,
they clone Tyrone.
If you look at the senior management team, and a lot of them are females. The owner is still a white male, but a lot of the senior roles are female, black female, to kind of window dress the situation. So then the boys get left behind. And slowly but surely, the boys move into simping, move into the more feminine type of roles, because that's all that's left for them.
A woman is rewarded for being more masculine.
In today's time.
A man is rewarded for being more feminine.
He's not being rewarded, he's being left behind.
No, we've got male role models, celebrities, what's.
Like who?
No examples, no names.
No, but I'm just saying...
The male celebrities and role models that we have, specifically in South Africa, would you say they are masculine? Because I'm looking in terms of gigs, is it the men who are aggressive and masculine like women, or the men who are a bit more softer and accommodating?
No, one of my greatest pains is the fact that as if you're a 12-year-old boy, standard 12-year-old boy, when you watch TV, you go onto the internet, who are you looking at as a role model? These guys we love and they're amazing in what they do. Let's say Mapuri is an amazing DJ, but I don't know how he is as a partner. I don't know how he is as a father, as a husband.
Mabesho. I added a disclaimer. Mabesho.
Yeah, so...
No, because that's the only reference we have, right? It's the only reference we have.
If I'm a 12-year-old cisgender, Mabesho, I can't look at Usomizi because his dynamics are very different from mine.
He's a loving father.
What's a cisgender?
Great. It's you identify your gender and your sex align.
Okay.
Yeah, but
hectic.
So
if I identify as gent and I am a gent, I'm cis.
You're cis.
And if I split,
it's split. Okay. So I, as much as Usomizi is a great dad, I'm trying to see how Usomizi is as a husband.
He was a great husband for a while until Mohale.
We don't know.
Until Mohale was like, no.
But in 2012, angifuna ukumbuka how he manages a homosexual relationship. Because I'm trying to see me. Those things that we always told young kids, Uguti, we need to have more black superheroes so that they can identify with what they see. So I am a 12-year-old. It's great that they are a homosexual relationship, great for them, but I don't identify. I love Trevor Noah. He's so funny. He's hilarious. I don't see him as a husband. I don't see him as a father. I don't have
boyfriend?
These.
Do you see him as a boyfriend?
Boyfriend group.
Oh, he keeps his private life.
Yeah, but I'm trying to say when I look at a role model, I'm thinking people tend to break them down in categories. From their career. So I like Umese is good at soccer, whatever, and then they also want a bit of the personal life. If I'm trying to emulate someone, ideally that person being my North Star, if I continue on this, Gushuting Izoba, a loving father, loving husband, great businessman, whatever the case is. And I don't think there's enough for the black boy to see.
Cheers. Have you been watching the Olympics?
I have.
Thoughts?
Very closely. So shout out to all the South African sprinters.
Shit, I forgot to say this earlier to Ursula. You mentioned something about Sutu dancing, Botswana dancing. Mokhiba.
Yeah.
At the Olympics.
That's not what I said.
Oh. But you know there's break dancing now at the Olympics. Yeah. Literally. Skating. Skateboarding. Skateboarding. Oh, because ice skating I think was there. No, it's okay. So skateboarding, maybe I can see because they've had BMX. Break dancing.
Breakdancing. Yakumele mjide why crampa when George Floyd. Yakumele
When
cramp
George Floyd what?
when they were doing those riots. Am
He
I
was
lying?
cramping for George Floyd.
Kumamagata so.
Cramp for George Floyd.
Akumamagata so ne aphethe lama donkey
Cramp
pira
for
khona.
George Floyd.
Ula.
Tight eyes. Come on.
J
J Squad. Come on.
Yes. I was like, ha. Hey, I'm just serious thing. I'm like, so.
Sorry, break dancing the Olympics.
Yeah, so shout out to all our athletes.
South African?
Just South Africa. Just getting there is incredible.
Yeah.
Just getting there. And then making past your heats,
Yeah.
getting into the semis, going past the semis, getting into the finals is just incredible. I think we're looking at Wade. He's through to the semis, and whatever this other kid
Of the 200 meters.
for the 200.
Maswanganyi.
You know, I saw Prudence last night running.
What's her name? Sikho.
Something.
Jeez.
She
I'll get her name. My apologies.
she unfortunately came last. But like you come last in the final Olympics, you know. So what does that like? Where does
Sikhodiso.
where does that put you?
Prudence Sikhodiso.
You know, you are the 0.0001%. You know,
If you came last, let's say number 8, you're the
Yeah.
8th fastest woman.
yeah,
in that
it's like
thing.
saying I'm the poorest billionaire. I'll take that.
I'm number 100 of the billionaires.
Yeah, of all the
Oh.
billionaires, him number last.
Yeah.
Comma billionaires. I'll take that. You know, but yeah, I've been watching. Obviously, the whole controversial boxers, the boxer from Algeria,
There's another one.
and the one from Taiwan.
Oh, not Thailand.
Taiwan.
Yeah.
Yin Yi Tung Ting Tinjal. So quite controversial there, and it speaks again. It lends itself to this discussion around identity.
Imane or Imain Khalif. Khalif
That's
is
from
the
Algeria.
one from Algeria. Sorry, I'm going to try and get that one. Please carry on.
Umbonile shalo sisi wase Italy.
Bamvithizile
Yebo
le nduku.
mshawu sisi wase Italy waze wakhala khalisa kwengane encane bemshawu sisi.
Lin Yuting
Lin
of
Yuting.
Taiwan.
Yes, the boxer from and yena ke uwinile as well. You know, those two seem like they carrying the Mbokoto flag high.
Jeez.
You know,
See, are you okay? All right.
What's crazy is that in the world champs last year or the year before, they weren't allowed to compete because when they did the tests,
They failed
found Uguti they both have XY chromosomes.
Jeez.
You know.
They failed the biology
So they failed it, and then the Olympics say, no, we don't test for that. And you're like, but that's exactly what you tested for with Ducasta. So why is it that you test for this with Ducasta, find out she's got X and Y, then you ban her, and then these ones all of a sudden, no, we don't test for that anymore.
Did Casta have X and Y?
X and Y.
Uh-huh.
You know, so
What does that mean to you?
Umchita.
Casta Smenya.
Yes.
Okay.
So what happens, unfortunately, with these hospitals is that you might be intersex, right? So you're born with both genitalia. Ne? And then you have the doctors and the parents making a decision at that exact time without actually checking and biologically what chromosome you belong to. So they might see, let's say, an enlarged clit, whatever the case is, and then say, you know what, there's also a bit of a vajayjay, we can build something here. Gandhi, you're an XY and you're meant to be a boy with a micro penis.
So Casta is an XY.
No, I'm just saying.
Born
if
intersex.
she's intersex. So what,
assigned she was assigned gender female
Female.
at birth,
yeah.
but with an XY chromosome.
So what was meant to happen, and again, we're talking about things like dollar. So let's, in 2024, what's meant to happen is that if you're born like that, they need to see, are you an XX or an XY? And then make a decision based on biology, rather than mean as ubaba and then just make that decision. Ganti, that's not their build, you know. So again, what people don't want to acknowledge in this gender discussion is our hormones determine how we move. So, for example, if I were to inject you with estrogen, estrogen, we know it's the female hormone. Females are calmer. They're more rational. Females are more
Females
nurturing.
are what?
More rational.
More rational and calmer.
100%. 100%. If that's why there's certain
Females
roles...
are calmer and more rational.
Hear me out. Females
No, sorry.
Females
Please
are more
continue.
empathetic. Ne?
Sure.
That's why if you look at the professions such as education, psychology, psychiatry, those professions, it lends itself to the female nature. Not saying that every female is like that, but some guys know how to pick what I knew. But with that being said...
when you add love.
No, I need to be talking about the
More
happy.
inject love than the
Yeah,
calm and
happy.
rational.
Whereas
Okay.
if I go to your standard sister and I start injecting with testosterone, we understand that testosterone will make her more aggressive, type of traits. That's why if we go 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, we look at the male-female roles that happened in Fiji versus the male-female roles that happened in Antarctica versus the male-female roles that happened in Africa. Very, very similar. Why? Because we were working based on our internal. There was no societal norm, Why is it that men just naturally hunted and females nurtured and looked after the kids? Naturally, Why? Because they were built like that from the internal out. If I inject you with the female hormone, you'll become more loving. You will be. You'll become more patient. You'll become more understanding, all of a sudden. And if I inject you with more testosterone, type of thing. So it's very important for us to understand that in making these decisions moving forward.
No, this is tough. I didn't know Castor was XY.
How?
I knew she was born into 6, but I didn't know about the chromosomes.
A comment.
Castor.
Yo, when you come with the athletic strategy, I was like, geez.
No, Castor's always had a deep voice and is quite masculine. But we've loved her all the same because she's been a great rep of the country.
And I think the biggest problem is, even with the two boxes, is that now we feel like they're cheating, Meanwhile, the decision was made. They've lived their whole life as females.
Yeah.
Decisions were made way before. Now you're going to tell me at age 24, you're actually a man.
Sure.
Imagine being told now that you're a woman.
That can't be good for you mentally.
Like you're broken. Like
Yeah.
I've lived my whole life going to the girls' bathroom, going to the females thing,
But
my entire
certain
life.
codes like boxing.
My
For
entire
someone
life.
with an XY chromosome. At sprinting, we can debate.
Huh?
But boxing, where you have to hit someone and you've got an XY chromosome is a bit... Yeah, that should have been... I think should have been tested a bit more.
Yeah, no, but it's a painful one because, again, these sisters, their entire lives are not to blame.
Yeah.
Because that's how they grew up. That's why their passports and their ID say female. They went to the female, they wore dresses, they did everything female until all of a sudden 2021, hey baba, you're a man. How? Yeah, bon. So it's those type of things. And now so it becomes tough. But you also feel for the sisters that are getting beaten.
I don't know if you want to give like a brief summary of your athletics run in your life
Oh,
for people that may not know.
Hey guys, mina ngangigijima mina. I multi-talented. No man, I really, really loved athletics at a time.
People don't know that you're super fast.
Thank you. I take that with love.
That you're super fast, even now.
Thank you even now. Ngiyabonga. Yeah, man, I think I don't have a lot of talent, and I think uNkulunkulu wangithela kancane in the sprints jar. So I'm very talented. Yeah.
That's the end of that.
Ngithini Ndungelo?
Why is he shy with the sprints?
I ran for KZN.
So for
I
people
ran
that
for
don't
Eastern
know,
Province,
Penson was
yeah.
actually like a sprinter in school. You also did long jump.
I did triple jump and long
triple jump.
Yeah.
Penson, why are you getting shy?
Oh,
It's weird, right?
But now he's fit. He can't outrun me. I want to
Yes. Yes. So the way Penson is fast, right? Like I think I said this earlier that I believe very much in extreme aggressive self-awareness, to a point where it's like, oh no, I'm fast. I'm in the top 1% of fastest people on the planet, because I think he is. Penson's best time I think is 10.8, which is Brian Habana's best time, I think, somewhere there. The guy is super fast. For anyone that knows athletics, anything under 11 seconds in the 100 meters is what's deemed super fast. 11 seconds, 11, 1, 2, 3 is fast. So when you see someone running 11 there, you're like, this is a fast guy. When you go sub 11, That's when you're like really fast, super fast.
So if you would work on it, you could actually run that 9 on Olympics.
If no. Let's calm down. Calm down. Yehlisa umoya, uyasho ibholo yeng. Hey, calm down. So from sub 11, where you're super fast, then we get to sub 10.5. Now we're speaking people that run at like world champs and professional athletes. To be honest, what's happening with the sub 10 is now beyond human, which people don't understand. That if someone's like, yo, I ran 9 point what, you're not like the fastest person in the world. You're in the list of the fastest people of all time. When we speak Kishane Thompson now, when we speak Noah Lyles, some of these other guys there, if you go onto the internet and you search, they probably in like the top 10, top 20 fastest humans of all time. We're not speaking now. Well, not on water.
Not on water, ne?
Not on water. Not on water. Jesus is like, let's race there. Like, no, but there's water there. Of course. These guys, when you run sub 10, of which I think now there's 2, if I'm not mistaken, 2 white people, 2 white men that have run sub 10. Before that, there were no white men that had ever run sub 10. We're speaking fastest humans of all time. So between 10 seconds and 10.5, you are super fast, one of the fastest people in the world. From 10.5 to 10.9, you are super fast. So Mr. Humble, thank you, I appreciate it. This guy ran 10.8, I think at SA Champs, at universities, whatever. So, you know, because of him and other athletes, because I ran the 400 and 800, we discuss things like technique, start, and we have these technical conversations in athletics, which is why, yes, he's not Michael Johnson or Usain Bolt, but it would be nice for him to offer some thoughts on like Sharika Jackson, Shelly Ann, Noah Lyles, who's got a horrible start, by the way, Julianne Alfred, Fred Curley, Kishane Thompson.
But marrying the two, the gender
So just
chats,
for context, so that people can know it's like, Penson is actually fucking fast. It's pretty dope.
Yeah, no, thanks so much. Hey, that's the most love I've ever gotten from my brother, ever.
Most.
That's the most.
Recorded, it's documented.
Hey, cabanga, like sengizovela ku TV ukuthi yangincoma. Hey, guys, come on. I'm saying ukuthi, like, just marrying the two between the sprinting and the gender that we're talking about. It's crazy when you look at the times. The fastest under 16 boy in South Africa runs 10.76.
The fastest under 16
Under
boy,
16
not in the world,
in South Africa.
runs 10.6
And the gold medalist of the female
at the
100 meters
Olympics.
was 10.72. Meaning that if we took the fastest under 16
South
South African boy, he would have gotten a silver medal just based on time. So now you look at it and you say in
Wait, you said the woman ran 10.7
10.72,
and this boy runs
10.76.
or 10.76,
Yeah.
not 10.6. Okay.
So like it's absolutely crazy where if you're looking at the fastest boys under 18, like if you're to take 5 of the fastest and you put them in this 100-meter sprint with the females, they would win everything.
Let me get this boy's name. Shout out
Crazy.
to this boy, man. He goes to King Edward School.
He got a full start.
He's a Mozambican. He's a Mozambican boy, and he owns the Mozambican 100-meter record. He went to the Olympics. 18-year-old in grade 12 is at the Olympics. A boy from Kes here in Joburg is at the Olympics representing Mozambique, and he owns the record for Mozambique. Steven Sapino. I just want to get his time. I think it's 10.35, but I just want to confirm. 10.35, 100 meters. That's his PB.
So think
best.
about this. We can get a boy from Cares, put him at the Olympics with the females, let him run, not even his best time. Let's just say he runs 10.4 and he
10.5.
breaks the world record.
Yeah.
Take this boy, put him there, while I Cares, breaks the world record for females. Ever. Fastest ever. All he needs to do in today's definition is identify as a. Mina, it's such a painful thing when we look at spaces where we talk about identifying as a in a country that has so much inequality, has so much poverty, has so much unemployment, and you've got Banyana, you've got the female Springboks. Amachita, it's just a matter of time until Amachita say, you know what, I'm hungry. There's nothing happening here. I couldn't make Morocco Swallows. I couldn't make Orlando Pirates. But if I actually just say identify as, I might make Banyana and get a good salary. Right?
Who is meant to fight this change in the world? Because it's meant to be an inclusive change. It's meant to be a good change. But it seems to be problematic for some people.
So give me my biggest problem is osis bethu, because osis bethu are very accommodating, and there's nothing wrong with being inclusive. That's the thing. Like we have Muslim friends and Jewish friends, ne? But when they go to mosque, it's theirs. It's not just open the door, anyone can come through. When
anyone can come through.
What I'm trying to say is you can't practice all these different things.
You can't claim to be Muslim if you're not following the
Yes, if you're not
prescriptions.
practicing
Yeah.
being yabona. So we want to open the mosque for everyone. What, and then at the same time we want to hold on to certain traditions. Which one is it? Which one is it? Is it a situation where we say, no, look, we need to fix and rectify women and celebrate women, but then you say anyone can be a woman? So what are we doing? What's the aim?
Are you saying women are the ones that are too accommodating?
Yes,
and draw a line and say,
a line has to be drawn. A line
by women,
by
particularly.
women in particular, because when it comes to guys, how many trans men are we seeing within these sports? How many women who are size 4 shoes now identify as a man, then you see them boxing? Because now size 3.
Sure.
Now you're going to with Deontay Wilder.
That's
13 size 100. You're a female. The average height of a female in South Africa is what, like 1.5 or something. And then you want to go and play what, the NBA. So like you look at it where WNBA, there's only about 2 women who can dunk, and the most lamest dunks that under 16 boys are doing at these schools. None of them are trying to transition into being a man. And so I think it's something where females need to be very aggressive, because it's them who are getting dominated in these spaces. It's them. Because the moment I have to now fill in my let's say my business, and I have to write, which, okay, I'm African, I'm I'm 35 and below, and then I know by just merely circling W, then I get put on top of the pile to get that 10 or whatever the case may be. Why should I not just circle W and put it there? And when they see me, I say, yeah, I'm a woman. I identify as a woman. Because I need to open gates for everyone. And then that takes away opportunities from our sisters who have been previously disadvantaged. So I think it's up to them largely, because and just song is crap as again.
Have you guys been watching the Olympics? Do you care about the Olympics at all? Jeez.
But it's crazy. Can I tell you why?
What a group
but no,
of people.
no, but it's the gatekeeping as well, because it's not like you can go onto, well, I haven't seen things live on YouTube. Have you seen them?
I think they limit it because of rights, TV rights.
So give me, when you look at a country like South Africa, where you look at the whole middle class not really having TV or DSTV anymore. So now you're saying, I'd like to watch the Olympics. Where do I watch the Olympics?
You feel like government has failed us?
100%.
Because, I mean, it was one of the cries by Gates and
100%.
McKenzie
100%.
about the Springboks, that like, we've got South African athletes, arguably, maybe not even show the entire Olympics, but the ones where the South Africans are competing.
You're going to save it for some that only when it gets to the final. We wanted to support them from Wa'a.
And also it's good for kids, right?
Yeah.
You've got ordinary South African kids who need that inspiration.
And now you have it on SABC2, which is delayed live.
Sure.
The younger kids are obviously on social media, so they're already seeing Guti, we've come last or second last. So now them having to go on SABC2 go bugas shiwa is not the same as watching it live, and actually the adrenaline, the excitement, the celebration, because now you're seeing it on Twitter, like 2 hours before it airs on TV. So I just think there's a lot of gatekeeping that's happening. It's pathetic when you look at how South Africa SABC is handling South African sports.
Are we wrapping up? Done? The big boss is here to tell us to shut it down. Penson, any closing words? Sorry, Tembele.
Sure, it's 10 to 7.
No stress. Penson,
It's what?
any closing words for the peeps?
On anything?
On anything.
No, man. I think, just to go back to the previous guest, it's just so painful when
Co-host, Ursula Mariani.
co-host Ush. So around the black child, the black boy being left behind. I've been having a lot of discussions with a lot of these Gen Z, 1997 to 2012. I'm having a lot of these discussions around the Gen Z that's been left behind. You know, a lot of these guys at 24, 25, 26, they qualify, they have this, they just don't have a compass to follow. They lost within the system, you know, whereas their female counterparts, they have bags, they're traveling here, they're going there, being funded by who knows what. But Amachita just feels as if the black boy is being left behind, and that just really does.
You don't
touch
think the
on
white
me.
boy is also being left behind, especially with BE?
I don't care.
Hectic.
I really don't. I don't. I think their grandparents or parents should have looted more during apartheid.
Aibo.
No. My focus is on the black guy, because my DMs are full of these young men who are stuck at home. They don't have an option. He's like, no, I've got a diploma here. I've tried to apply. They say I don't have enough experience. He's this, is that. The guy's like, okay, no, I earn 8K, and then my girl was snatched by a 35-year-old who drives this and what. And they just seem like they all running on a treadmill, you know, and they seem like they're getting more and more depressed, and they've got nothing going for them, and by panic and by stressed and I'm just like, Jesus, Tina, as the millennials, what are we doing to talk to the younger guys and say, look, let's try this, let's try that. We've all gone through this bit of a desert within our lives, and you know, and let's maybe as the older guys be that Moses to try and guide them. But hey, my parting words would just be like, hey, Machita, no, Machita, it's gonna get better. Keep at it.
Guys, thank you very much for joining us this week. As I said, we're experimenting with this model. We'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments of what you think of this model. If you've got any questions for us, any comments, what you'd like to see, etc., etc., we'll hear from you. We'll try and adjust as and when. Dope conversations, pen you all the black pen. Until next time, we're out.
Sebo.